chat.
Hello, my
Twitch
lovely
would be
cumbers.
created.
We live
Justin
and die
Kahn,
by the
founder of
cumbers.
Justin.tv, would
Do you go outside or stay in the room 24/7? Yeah, I'm locked in my room. I can't go outside. I am allergic to fresh air. I would die immediately on impact. Zero, do you watch anime? I do, but I've been really bad at watching any anime lately. I'm just too busy with surviving and streaming and remembering to eat and drink water. Oh, I'm actually so excited for this. It's about MIZKIF, a deep dive into the self-inflicted downfall of the MIZKIF. Interesting.
How do you go from averaging 6 viewers per stream to 40,000 in just a few years, reaching 192,000 on your most viewed stream of all time?
Damn.
Well, that was MIZKIF, a normal guy who used to be a Twitch fanboy and who in just a few short years would find himself hanging out with those same streamers that he had admired, calling them friends or coworkers, and finding them reaching out to him in order to be a part of his streams because he had outgrown them. And to take it a step further, he had co-founded an organization with streamers that he used to watch in his bedroom. Streamers that were there from the absolute beginning of Twitch.
I must be honest, I heard about OTK. Guys, my brain is struggling. OTK, that's how you say it. But I never really understood what it was about. Never really watch these kind of streamers, you know. Is that soda popping? I know Emeru, Asmongold, Tectone. I think I recognize this face. But the other ones, I have no idea.
MIZKIF's success story was unprecedented in both its speed and scale.
Oh my god!
So how is it that you can go
Altwork
from the
is
top
treating
of the
you well,
world
Boxy,
to the absolute bottom, isolated from everyone you used to call a friend? Well, all it took was one stream from Emiru on the 25th of October, 2025. She is one of the biggest streamers in the world, and in that stream she would reveal to us that for years she was in a secret relationship with MIZKIF, and in that relationship he did horrendous things to her. To the surprise of everyone, MIZKIF in just a few hours would come out with his own response during a live stream, and it would be terrible.
So bad.
It would be catastrophic.
It was amazingly bad.
The majority of the things Emiru was saying while trying to twist it into something else that didn't matter at all. He had essentially managed to make the situation 1,000 times worse, and guys, it was already terrible. And look, by now, I'm sure you know how internet drama works.
Hello, Demon Wolf. Hello.
It pours. And after Emiru's statement, many others would come out with their own statements about their own experience with MIZKIF and how much of a terrible person he was. This once incredible success story had gone from inspirational to morbid. And MIZKIF, once at the top of the streamer world, was now completely...
I don't understand, because I literally have no idea who this was until this happened. Like, I've heard the name MIZKIF maybe a few times from streamers. But more than that, absolutely no idea who this dude was. Except that I immediately got bad vibes from looking at him. Makes me laugh when you have a crash out because your girlfriend becomes more successful than you. If you truly loved her, would you have celebrated with other? That's what I mean. It makes no sense. Wouldn't you just be happy? Go like, go girl, go take them all, get that cash. We're gonna get married, right? So I'm also gonna be rich. No, but for real, it's like, wouldn't you just be happy for your partner if she's doing well, or he or they? Like, come on. Because he's pretty much a springboard from other people who never really did anything special. Yeah. Because I'm like kind of surprised that I am completely like, he was not on my radar at all. But I would also say like this side of the Twitch is not really the typical streamers I usually watch. I'm very much a VTuber Andy, but still.
And utterly isolated.
Like some streamers you just can't avoid, right?
So what the hell even happened? Well, look, as someone who was chronically online on Twitch during the rise of MIZKIF, I think I'm pretty well equipped to talk about this topic while also explaining to you what made MIZKIF so special, how he was able to rise to fame so aggressively, only to so violently
what made him special?
Lose it all overnight.
I wonder.
So you already know the drill by now. Let's do this. Art comes in many different forms. Like this ancient Japanese illustration in which an octopus is doing certain things.
Oh my god, you know, guys.
There's also
no!
this illustration.
Go back to that. This makes me want to draw something. Where's my pen? I need my pen. There it is. What should we draw? What should we draw? Combo cat, maybe? Here's combo cat. Here's his collar. Here's his little arms. And this the tail. Do you go outside or stay in the room 24/7? Yeah, I'm locked in my room. I can't go outside. I am allergic to fresh air. I would die immediately on impact.
An octopus is doing certain things to a woman. There's also this illustration of that same woman killing that same octopus. I think there's like a story there or
fresh
something.
Air
but the point
hits you in the face and then you die.
Is subjective, which is how I can explain
Be careful,
the fact
guys.
that I consider these 4 new sugar-free premium energy cans from GamerSubs to be
holy
pure
shit, this looks
art.
so good.
You can buy one of these chosen at random for
this
$3.
is actual art.
And if you don't like to fool around with RNG, then you can buy a whole case, 12 of them, for $33. And the best part?
Imagine if I was on one of those cans. One day, guys, one day.
Is that you can use the code Mujin at checkout to get 10% off your total order. And finally, if you actually do buy something with my code, then join my Discord. DM me personally with proof, and I'll give you a special roll. You'll find all the necessary links in the description and the pinned comment. So now, without further ado, for real, let's get to the video. Alright, so as I mentioned in the intro, MIZKIF was essentially a nobody. He was an average guy, he completed a time job. He would have a bit of a health scare and would end up in the hospital. This would change his perspective on things. And that's when he would decide to start streaming. The only problem was that, well, he was getting 10 viewers. And as soon as he felt that he was making some sort of progress,
10 viewers is a lot.
With the viewer count reaching 24 average viewers, the next month he would go
especially
back to
in this
6.
day and age.
This is the reality of being a small streamer. It's hell on earth. And he was getting very frustrated at the fact that he wasn't growing at all. This is when he would decide to diversify. He would make a YouTube channel. It was called MIZKIF at the time. Today it's called MIZKIF Documentaries because he renamed it. But the idea was very simple. MIZKIF was a streamer fanboy. He was very active in many of their communities, which gave him a keen understanding about what makes a streamer laugh, their sense of humor, while also taking into account their community's inside jokes. He would use this knowledge to create documentaries on some of the top streamers at the time, except they'd be mostly inaccurate. They'd be full of false info and inside
this guy
jokes.
too,
it was
Ice Poseidon. I've heard his name being thrown around like it's a curse. I have no idea who this dude is. I have no idea what he's done. I have no idea.
Mostly meant to be comedic. That's because MIZKIF
sometimes I really do think I live under a rock.
His first video would be titled "Who is Tyler 1?"
But I do know who Tyler 1 is.
It would barely get any views. He'd start to spam this link in multiple communities, hoping that someone would click on it, would watch it, would react to it, and eventually someone would.
Like, it feels like he's the Voldemort of streamer. He got cancelled from YouTube and Twitch, and I think he still streams on Kick. Oh, really? Kick, not gonna lie, the streaming site Kick kind of scares me. That being said though, if Kick ever came to me and be like, you get this amount of millions if you only stream on Kick, I probably would take it. I probably would. But if they don't pay me millions, I will probably never stream on Kick, not gonna lie. I think anyone would be honest. I respect it.
MIZKIF was truly hoping that Tyler
At least I'm
himself
honest, right?
would react to this live on stream, but instead what he got was Tyler 1's brother, Erob221. He'd watch that video on stream, and that would be one of the...
I had no idea that he has a brother, and I had no idea that his brother actually streamed.
Most defining moments in MIZKIF's career. That's because Erob would enjoy it, he'd laugh at it, and his chat would love it too. Seeing that many of the top streamers would share many viewers, they'd start to post that video in other streamers.
Also, didn't Tyler 1 just get a second daughter? Or get? I guess he made it with his wife. That's insane. He got 2 kids now, right?
Chats too. MIZKIF would then make a video titled "Who is Greek God X?", one of the top streamers at the time as well, and he would react to it live on stream in front of 12,000 viewers. These videos would
stop. That makes me feel so old. Amazon order, yes.
Start to gain traction, and MIZKIF was reconsidering. Maybe he wanted to be a YouTuber since he was finding so much success here.
Hello, Arwen. Hello, Arwen.
But before he could even begin to see whether these YouTube videos would actually bring in more viewers on Twitch, he'd all of a sudden receive the opportunity of
No, I can't find more honey-covered nuts, guys. It's a disaster. It's only normal ones
by now,
left.
It's no secret. Twitch originated from Justin.tv, a website that was originally made for you to be able to stream yourself to strangers while they interacted with you in chat.
Hello, my
Twitch
lovely
would be
Cumbers.
created purely for gaming content.
We live
Justin
and die
Khan,
by the
founder of
Cumbers.
Justin.tv would see that there was big demand for gaming-centric content, especially with the rise of esports. This is when he and his team would create Twitch.tv purely and only.
I still remember watching him running it down like 6 years ago. Yeah. Wasn't he a Draven player? Or am I wrong? He doesn't really play League anymore. Or does he? Oh, hello! Enlightened Raccoon. Oh my god, I love that name. We got a raccoon, guys. A raccoon entered the pond. Welcome. Yeah, he still is. Oh, nice. Zero, do you watch anime? I do, but I've been really bad at watching any anime lately. I'm just too busy.
If you wanted to do more vlog-centric content, then you would just have to go to Justin.tv.
Surviving and streaming.
At some point, Justin.tv would shut down.
And remembering to eat.
By Amazon in 2014. However,
drink water.
Around December 15th, 2016, Twitch would make a big decision. They would now allow you to do IRL streams in which you vlog yourself walking.
You
on the
weren't
street,
allowed to do IRL
whatever.
streams
This was a
before?
very big deal
What?
because prior to this, you were not allowed to stream on Twitch unless
Well, shit, he answered
you were
my
playing
question.
some form of video game. And
That's
one of the
so
first
odd.
streamers who would take full advantage of this change, of this shift of content on Twitch would be
This is Voldemort, guys.
Before doing IRL, he was an old-school
It's
RuneScape
Voldemort.
player who lived with his parents. What made him unique at the time were multiple factors. One of them
Drink
being
energy
his
drinks,
very
that's true.
loyal and loud community,
That's
as
true.
well as his song requests, in which that community would request songs that
I
seemed
have no idea
legit,
what water
that
is,
seemed real,
except
while randomly
pond water, of
sprinkling
course.
in the N-word
It's
and
good for
other
your skin.
slurs to make him react to it and then say, "You're banned," which at the time made him blow up. After the introduction of IRL streaming, Ice Poseidon would move from his home in Florida to Los Angeles, in which he would become a full-time IRL streamer. Barely 7 months after the introduction of IRL back on Twitch, he would be featured on Rolling Stone with an article titled "On Air with LA's Most Wanted Man, Live Streamer."
How
Ice
do I not
Poseidon.
know who
A
this
year
dude
later,
is?
The New Yorker would send a reporter to Ice Poseidon's house to start documenting his life. He'd end up writing a very lengthy profile about who Ice Poseidon is, what he does for a living, and how it all works. It was very in-depth and would take you around 41 minutes if you want to read it. Look, I don't even know if I can explain to you fully just how much of a big deal this guy was. You really had to be there. He was revolutionizing.
Yeah,
not
I
just
had no
streaming,
idea.
But the
Literally, all I've heard about him, it seems like it was awful to watch him. Just like stressful, awful. He seemed like an awful guy. That's all I know. Never watched anything of his things though.
absolute definition.
But the
of
fact
what
that he
good
got
content
banned both from
was.
YouTube
He'd
and
find himself
Twitch.
in ridiculous situations.
What the
and would
frick
make
did he
content
do?
out of anything and anyone. His community would be global. I mean, it was so powerful that you'd see random graffiti like this of him on a wall. Not to
Really?
mention that even to this day in 2025, if you type richest man in LA on Google, you find his picture. That's something his community did on purpose so that he can go flex to random women on the street and hope to pick them up. Today, in hindsight, his content seems average, but back then he was the first to do it. He made a video, for example, about how he made $5,000 while
Oh
sleeping.
my god, this. How can people sleep knowing that they are live streaming it? I could never fall asleep to this. I would be so stressed. Having like a camera on you while you try to sleep. Hey, no.
In which viewers
And
could
why
pay
would you
money
watch
to
it?
request songs to wake him up.
Do
And
people
that's
actually
something
like
even
that?
streamers like iShowSpeed have done today.
Oh,
what really
it's
changed
a thing.
everything for him was when he would do the RV trip stream, in which he would get a bunch of his friends on an RV.
I don't know nothing much about iShowSpeed either, but I saw like a video about his like I think it was like some channel named Mango. Stephanie Su, right? She made like a video about iShowSpeed in China, and honestly, after I watched that video, I kind of love iShowSpeed. That's insane. He got paid $5,000 in one stream just for being asleep. Now that's lazy content. Holy shit. Guys, should I just leave my stream open all the time and just make like a sleeping model? Do you think that would work?
And tour the country randomly, impromptu, and would create some of the best, most memorable content the live streaming world has ever seen. Now, tangent aside, and back to MIZKIF, MIZKIF had made a video.
Loads of female VTubers do it, but I don't know about the revenue aspect. They do? They have sleeping models? Just on the screen? At all times? Why haven't I seen it?
On his channel titled "Who is Ice Poseidon?" and Ice had reacted to it with 11,000
I've seen
live
quite a
viewers.
few female
He found it
VTubers
funny, his
just do
community loved
sleeping
it,
and they keep the
so
stream open
that's
on
when
top.
opportunity
I thought that was only during like subathons and things when they need to keep the clock going, ticking, you know.
struck. Ice Poseidon's manager, Brent Caskell, otherwise known as Scuffed
mostly
Steve
is,
Jobs, that's a name Ice Poseidon's community gave him, would reach out to MIZKIF and tell him, hey, remember RV Trip 1? I'm sure you watched it. We're about to do RV Trip 2. So how about you come along to the sequel of this legendary stream, and maybe you can make an actual real documentary on Ice Poseidon this time. MIZKIF would immediately take the opportunity and fly out. This would
I'm not gonna lie, like subathons and things scare me. I'm like, how do you even set those up? It seems stressful as hell.
be in the summer of 2018. However, as always, there was a complete miscommunication between Ice and his manager, with Ice introducing MIZKIF as his cameraman for the trip, and that's exactly what ended up happening. There was no documentary to be made.
Like, how far back is this?
The trip was MIZKIF. But that's not to say that MIZKIF didn't have memorable moments himself, making his own mark on the stream and being able to showcase his sense of humor. Look, overall, just like the first trip, the sequel managed to be...
I'm still learning OBS, so I couldn't do it subathon. Mind you, I'm too low-key audience to even start one. Yeah, me too. Honestly, OBS can be so confusing sometimes. And I'm not sure my computer would even like... I do have a good computer, but damn, having it on constantly, I would feel so bad.
Just as crazy. And this time, MIZKIF managed to be a part of it. Back during 2018...
Subathons are pretty chill nowadays, to be honest, aside from a couple of things. Best of luck, it's a nightmare at the best of time. Oh my god, Kyo coming in with the doom comment about OBS. It's true, OBS can be very confusing at times.
Anyone who watched or had anything to do with streamers knew that this RV...
I'm always terrified of updating my OBS because I've heard like horror stories about it. So I'm always like, oh my god, is everything gonna break now? Is everything gonna break now?
Trip was happening and was keeping up with it in some shape or form, including the subreddit livestream fail. You see, initially this subreddit was made purely to share fails that would occur on livestream. Since it was live, it meant that the odds of bad things happening was way higher than usual. The subreddit would truly peak during the H1Z1 days, in which you would see a bunch of streamer bugs, drama, and fails.
What?
Soon enough,
Why would
though,
you do that?
the subreddit posters, as well as the mods themselves, would realize there were only so many fails to find on Twitch or even YouTube. It's not like 100 of them happened every day. Soon it would be a place to post any highlights from streaming, whether it be funny moments, memorable moments, sad moments, you name it. But during the RV trip, both the first one and the second one, livestream fail was
just living in an RV makes me want to cry.
Like, you could go to that subreddit every day and the entire front page
I get like claustrophobic just
of clips of what
thinking
had
about
happened
it.
the prior day,
and my
because not
social
everyone could keep
anxiety
up
is
with
like
everything happening,
through
right?
the roof.
It was the biggest advertisement Ice could have ever asked for. Hell, even bigger streamers at the time, like Dr. Disrespect, would hint that they were keeping up in some way or another with this RV trip. It was that legendary and unprecedented. This was like reality TV show without the scripts.
This is
or
what
the
I mean.
producers.
Every time I hear someone talk about Ice Poseidon, they talk about like he was the greatest of all times, and then he turned to Voldemort. He's literally a Voldemort story, you know? From like Tom Riddle to Voldemort to like you can't speak his name anymore. And I'm like, what? What? I had no idea.
This was reality, period. And people couldn't get enough of it. Unfortunately, though, RV Trip 2 would end in a disaster, in an incident dubbed Horseshoe Bay, in which Ice Poseidon would very nonchalantly, with no empathy whatsoever, break up with his crying girlfriend live on stream because he had cheated on her with her friend in the same hotel he booked
like,
her.
This
turned
just
his
too
entire
far.
community against him, and he was overall hated like never before.
He
And
just crashed really hard.
MIZKIF was the cameraman. I mean, you already know at this point. His very powerful community would revolt against him and would vow to boycott his streams unless he stopped being such a stupid person. And while his hate was at an all-time high, the livestream fail mods saw an opportunity. Ice Poseidon was very controversial. His community was uncontrollable, and overall, he was a liability. So they initiated a community vote to ban Ice Poseidon from livestream fail. You wouldn't be able to post anything about him, talk about him, nothing. And seeing that a huge chunk of livestream fail users were also part of Ice Poseidon's community, this was perfect because they could give him a big middle finger. Everyone knew how much the subreddit helped him to grow. So they voted yes. And Ice was banned from livestream.
Guys, do we need a subreddit? Is it a thing? I must be honest, I have never used Reddit. I don't use Reddit. Do we need one?
Fail for many years to come. In the meantime, though,
Be careful opening a Pandora's box. Reddit ain't worth it. Oh, really?
MIZKIF completely avoided all this negative attention. During the RV trip, he had met streamers like EROP221, and they had followed each other. In fact, he had networked with quite a few people. And so after the RV trip 2 had ended around June 2018, he had started to see momentum on his Twitch channel that he had never seen before, going from 6 viewers to a few hundred. But that of course wasn't enough to live out his dream. No, he would take it yet another step forward, moving into a house with a bunch of other streamers like EROP221 and creating content together. Look, by this point,
it's quite sad over there. Oh no, really?
if it wasn't obvious yet, MIZKIF was you.
Also, content houses. Like, why is... I know it was a huge thing on YouTube as well, and all I'm like, it's always ending in a disaster. It seems horrendous. And all the people always end up being miserable in content houses.
He was a normal...
There is virtual YouTubers, but expect for a whole lot of people really not giving a F about your post. It's that bad. Oh, but can't you have your own Reddit just for like Pornhub or something? It would be nice to be able to scroll through a proper site where people do like Angelo in Discord. He posts like memes about us, Pornhub and me. It would be fun to be able to show them easily. Because I feel like streaming Discord,
normal person. He was someone who just watched streamers, and now all of a sudden he was sitting in a room with all of them laughing. Many people who were dissatisfied.
What? That's Mongol short hair? What the hell?
With Ice Poseidon.
In illegal sense, you're better off with Discord because you're protected. Oh. I love your bunny ears. Oh, thank you. They are very big, very floppa, very floofy. You can, but if things go bad, there's no way to contact Reddit to get things fixed. I've tried. Oh, shit. That's scary.
Behavior started to watch MIZKIF instead and would support him monetarily to see him live out their dream. They were essentially living through him. And they would make sure that no matter where you were on Twitch, you would hear of him and his new community. For example, someone would make him an emote, and he would call it MIZKIF Egg. Now, in order to network, he made it a point to always raid someone after streaming. And I mean, you guessed it, they usually were bigger streamers. After he would raid a streamer, the only thing you would see in that streamer's chat was this obnoxious ass emote. His community would spam it so much that most streamers would actually end up banning it. It was impossible at this point to not know who he was, or at least have heard of him.
Really?
Barely a few months later, you'd find him on the Scuffed podcast that was made by Trainwrecks TV. And in it, he was so comfortably sharing his sense of humor, having conversations with some of the biggest streamers on the platform. Trainwrecks would make it a point to bring in smaller content creators from time to time, but none of them would shine through like MIZKIF truly did. It's as if he had prepared his entire life to become a streamer, and now that he finally got the opportunity, he was excelling at it. And it showed. Most of his streams at the time would be spent playing marbles, in which users in his chat could race each other to get first place, or he'd straight up just spend his time doing the most random, ridiculous things you can imagine, like doing front flips on his stream, shaving his head.
This is the only reason I would love what's it called? Like a 3D model in the future, where I can just do stupid things, roll around on the floor and you guys can see it. It would be, a stream would be just me laying on the floor, staring up at the ceiling, being like, what is life, guys? What is life?
And his eyebrows, staring at a wall for 10 hours. I mean, truly, it was the Wild West, and people loved it at the time. As this was happening, and around the end of 2018, people would start to realize something. The livestream fail subreddit, once known to share fails of streamers and then eventually talking a lot about Ice Poseidon, would now become a forum
I would love that
fueled Twitch drama. Didn't just talk about it, but actually played a critical role in it. I mean, this right here is the front page of livestream fail from the Internet Archive back in 2018, and you can see that whenever there was a big Twitch ban, whenever there was drama, whenever there was a highlight, it was always on this subreddit.
A goal for the future. I have no idea how much a 3D model costs, but probably a lot if you want a good one.
If not hundreds of thousands of people.
And
like, it wasn't just all about highlights anymore.
You need specific gear, I was gonna say, to pilot that thing, right? I have no idea.
Also about gossip, about drama. However, one familiar face you'd start to see often on the front page was MIZKIF. He had a talent of making many clippable moments. He could turn a serious moment into a humorous moment, he could make a boring moment into something ridiculous, and everyone would start to clip it and share it, knowing that they'll get free Reddit karma. In fact,
the setup is what ends up costing a lot, but it also depends on what you want to do. Oh. Because I saw, what's it called? Sen, her new 3D model is insane. I'm so jealous. I want that. I want that. I want that. That's what I want. If I'm gonna have a 3D model, I'm gonna go all out, like proper expression, everything, you know? And I'm guessing that's gonna be hella expensive.
Clips would become so damn common that livestream fail would make him.
We need to become millionaires, guys.
This was a very big deal at the time because look at the people that also had a filter. Dr. Disrespect, Soda Poppin', Trainwrecks TV.
Dr. Disrespect, isn't that a pedo? Allegedly.
There was a filter for drama, and there was a filter for XQC. This guy was now one of the
There's some pretty good trackers now and also really good software for things like webcam. Ooh.
greats. And mind you, this happened in under a year of him getting off our V-Trip 2. It was insane. He was finally starting to see the fruits of his labor. He had gone from a few hundred viewers to now having over 1,000, and within the beginning of 2019, he'd have over 3,000 live viewers. This already took him from being a hobbyist to someone who can do this full-time and make a lot of money doing it. But of course, to MIZKIF, it wasn't enough. There was so much more he wanted to do, and he was only getting started. But the question was, how do you go from having 3,000 average viewers to later reaching over...
Like, it seems like he had a pretty normal start, except that he managed to like get in with a really big streamer somehow. But kind of normal so far.
7,000.
I think he's banned everywhere except Rumble. Didn't he go back to YouTube? I thought he started streaming again. And I was like, what? How? YouTube, come on.
How do you go from the top 1% of Twitch
to the
Rumble? Top 1% of the top 1%? Well, the answer is one simple word: parasocialism. On April 21st, 2019,
not the parasocialism,
Pokimane brings actual content to Twitch. It would be upvoted over 5,000 times and would end up on the front page of the subreddit. Here's the clip. Watch.
This is Bean. His name is Bean. I didn't name him. He is a juvenile red-tailed hawk. He's like...
Who is this?
He's probably 6 months.
That's a gorgeous bird.
Car, a few,
Ja! En svensk streamer.
he was hit by a car
We are rare. Det finns inte många av oss.
I just got my falconry license and I'm rehabilitated.
We're like a rare Pokemon. A legendary Pokemon?
And I weigh him every day.
So yeah, the whole point of this clip was the fact that she kind of looked similar to Pokimane, but was actually bringing
Guys,
real content.
should I have a stream in
her hawk while
all
being
Swedish one day?
As always, MIZKIF would waste.
I think that would be difficult because, like, even in
was on the subreddit, he saw
my private life,
she gained after that clip was posted, and so
off stream, I speak more English than Swedish.
He reached out and gave her some advice. Of course, it wasn't mostly
Stay
helpful.
hydrated. Thank you. I do have my energy drink.
Just for content. At some point, Maya would give him this look of desperation, and it would actually become a very popular emote.
What is happening? What did I miss? I saw a bird, and when I looked back, she looked sad. Did it fly away?
What happened
Maybe.
soon after, though, is that they would actually keep making content together. And MIZKIF would notice fairly quickly that every clip posted of these two on livestream fail would get upvoted to oblivion. I mean, guys, as someone who unfortunately
smak. Det är vit monster. Jag vet inte vad det är för smak. De säger inte det. Det är bara en
vit. I can tell you
vit.
right now that not a single day went by without seeing a clip of MIZKIF and Maya on the front page.
Also, please
people were
keep the chat in English.
Hard, so it's no wonder that
I don't mind some Swedish talk here and there.
And this would be their
but
reveal.
Most of my viewers don't know Swedish.
I'm going to meet her family.
Unfortunately, Swedish isn't like a language everyone in the world has to learn. Like, why did we decide on English, people? Why did we decide on that? Why couldn't we take Swedish? Or like Icelandic? That would be cool.
That's not it. That's not what he's gonna
I
say.
only know
That is
IKEA
true.
in Swedish. That's fair.
Chat, we're roommates.
They're
We're dating.
roommates? Oh, they're dating? What's with that face? Oh my god, I'm covering his face. I guess I'm doing you guys a favor. Can I be in the, like, the middle of them? Look at his face. Why did he react like that?
Watch.
I'm going to meet her family.
That's not it. That's not what he was gonna say. That is true.
Chat, we're roommates.
We're dating.
Why does he react like that? Who cares if you're dating or not? He's fugly. Well, I mean... Well, everyone have the preferences, I suppose. He has very blue eyes. People like that, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Because all the chicks on his rooster are... I have just got the update. Oh, you think he was shouting up more people? Like, who cares if this dude is single or not? I would be more happy for him if it actually wasn't. Like, damn, you managed to get someone?
Everyone is.
Good for
You're
you.
probably wondering, why are people so excited over two streamers dating? Well, it goes back to the whole parasocial aspect.
You should
MIZKIF
download
was a
the new
normal
beauty
guy. His viewers
beauty
saw
update.
themselves in him, thinking
The
if
new
he can do
beauty
it, I
update?
can do it too. They lived this dream through him, and also wanted to live the dream of finding a girlfriend like Maya through him too. And now, yes, this is very wholesome, this is very nice.
Maya
but
is very
you've watched
cute.
rom-coms before. You know that all the
Like,
excitement's gone once
he's
the couple
punching
kisses,
up,
right?
just saying.
Was this going to be the case here too? No. It wasn't. If anything, the parasocialism got even crazier. When MIZKIF would cheer Maya up on stream, it would get posted as a clip on Livestream Fail. There will be wholesome moments in which MIZKIF tells Maya that she doesn't deserve him, she deserves better, and that he's very grateful to be with her. Aww, on Livestream Fail.
No, for you, it's midday there, right? Good afternoon to you from my place when it's... Oh, yeah, it's midday. It's literally almost 20 minutes, 12:20. Holy shit, don't make me try to speak clock in English.
Oh look, another clip of
Peak
these
time,
two
I
with
have
over
no idea.
8,000 upvotes. Oh hey, that's another clip right here.
20 över 12
6,700 upvotes.
in Swedish.
Would you look at that? The same amount
Is this
of
the
upvotes.
MIZKIF fall-off
Again,
video?
another clip featuring them both.
Yeah, it's
Guys,
the
this
Mujin's video, a deep dive into the self-inflicted downfall of MIZKIF by Mujin. I should probably link it in chat, right? It's very Gucci. I love Mujin's videos. You all should give him a lot of loves. I put it in the YouTube chat as well.
This got so ridiculous that at some point someone posted a clip with the title, Maya eats some of her cereal and then breathes.
What?
And within the span of 6 hours, it would get more than 4,000 upvotes.
What?
This was meant to make fun of the state of this subreddit. It was literally just a place to post clips about MIZKIF and Maya at this point.
Oh.
You see, this subreddit, even though it had evolved into being a space to discuss Twitch drama, still had a big void that wasn't filled after
Have you seen the
banning
new
of Ice
drama about
Poseidon.
him? Isn't this the new drama?
Parasocial aspect between MIZKIF and Maya would
I'm not sure.
definitely
What new
fill the
drama?
majority of that gap. And thanks to this subreddit and many of these clips going viral, sometimes being on the front page of Reddit, many people start to find MIZKIF. There's this thread on the MIZKIF subreddit asking, out of curiosity, when and how did he discover Miz? One of the top comments says, oh yeah, he made an impression of Tyler 1 and it was a clip on
He might
Livestream
talk about
Fail.
it. Oh.
Another one would say, oh yeah, it was a clip in which Maya was explaining to MIZKIF
Oh
that
yeah,
his
the
scalp
Emery.
was
Yeah,
not
that's why
intact.
we're watching
There's
this.
so many comments in this thread. I mean, there's 451.
We watched the
and
Emery
so many
video
of them
and his
will point to
response.
the
It
whole
was
Maya and
horrendous.
MIZKIF arc. No wonder the guy went from 3,000 average viewers to 8,000
Holy
right before
shite.
becoming official with Maya. And look, some of you may not be fully aware of what 8,000 means, but just to give you some perspective, sponsors will pay you $1 to $2 per viewer per hour when you play a game, for example. So imagine what 1 hour of a sponsorship would be like. Imagine 2, imagine 3.
Speak
This guy would be
clock. I
making
like your
some
funny
yearly
words.
salaries
Whale,
in just the span
mommy.
of a few hours with this view
I'm not a
count. From many
whale.
people's point of view,
I'm a dolphin
he
and a
had already
bunny.
made it, essentially.
I'm
But to
bunfish.
MIZKIF, there was always more room to grow. The numbers could always go further.
I saw
And seeing
a
the
vid
whole
on
Maya
X
and
where he
MIZKIF
was
arc
dancing
had come
outside
to
a court, and
conclusion,
another vid
he had
called
to move on to the next
Get
bigger and greater
Ready
thing.
with me
And
for
that,
court.
he would
Oh
take
my God,
direct
he's milking
inspiration
this,
from
huh?
his mentor, Ice.
That's horrendous that he actually milks content of being like Emery came out accusing him of literal spousal abuse and sexual abuse, and he's making content of horrendous abuse towards a woman. Like it's funny. I don't understand. Oh crap, sorry about that. Oh no, no worries. A bunfish. Yes, a bunfish. I'm a floofy dolphin, okay? I got that on TikTok. Honestly, extremely delusional stuff. Yeah, that's just worrisome. Like, is she actually... Oh, is he the next Ice Poseidon? Is that what I'm getting?
Poseidon. Gordon Ramsay is one of, if not the most successful...
What the hell? What is Gordon Ramsay doing here? I did not expect this. Fluffy dolphins with the buns. Exactly. You get it.
Celebrity chef on the planet. But you see, just like MIZKIF, he had very humble beginnings. When he was 19, he was a nobody, someone that had done technical college and done a bit of catering here and there. However, he had that hunger,
Gordon
that drive, and he wanted to be the
reals.
best, so he went to the best. And at the time,
I need a... What do you need?
White. Marco was and still is the youngest chef to ever attain 3 Michelin
No one
stars
expects
on
to prize Gordon.
in
Honestly,
the
no.
UK. That is the highest honor a chef could ever hope
like,
to.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. My, like, favorite content of stream, like, having on my second monitor while I'm editing, is Gordon Ramsay. Like, Hell's Kitchen, Kitchen Nightmares, whatever. Like, I don't know why. It's just so easy to have him on the second monitor, and it's not, like, too interesting or too boring, you know? It's absolutely perfect. In the middle. Idiot sandwich, yes. I think that came out wrong. No, it came out perfectly for him. I do have the buns, don't I? I have two buns, well, on my chest. To call what? Okay, maybe not call it buns. I'm not sure. Oh, thank you for the follow. Welcome into the pond.
Achieve. And he did this while having the reputation of one of the first chefs that had a potty mouth. This guy would absolutely torture, destroy his staff. I mean, people would come in and try to work for him. After a day, they would leave. He would kick out celebrities from his restaurant.
So he's literally named the Lightning
and he was seen as a rock star. Gordon would absorb everything he could during the span of the 2 years that he worked for him, and would then go on to establish his very successful businesses. I mean, truly, even if you were to ask him today, he would credit much of what he learned.
I'm always surprised about the fact that Gordon always have had this forehead. And like, I don't even think he's an ugly old man. He's pretty a decent looking old man with the most wrinkly forehead ever, and I'm so here for it.
To Marco. If you want to be the best, you simply learn from
Lightning
the best.
McQueen reference. Yeah, I got it.
Poseidon.
I fucking love Lightning McQueen.
Everyone was just having a good time, being high, doing whatever. But MIZKIF was there providing entertainment, but also sucking everything like a sponge, understanding what made Ice special, and seeing how he operated. Many of the things he learned
he's so
with Ice would
baby-faced.
stick with him. And after he had received unprecedented, crazy, insane momentum due to his relationship with Maya blowing up, the next step for him was incorporating everything Ice had done thanks to his influence. Now, some of it would be very direct, right? Like poaching the brains behind Ice Poseidon's operation and hiring him instead. Jacob was the man who set up all the tech of Ice Poseidon's streams, kept track of his dashboards, his stats, and even his financials.
He had a tech guy?
MIZKIF would later hire him to work on operations for OTK. We'll see what that is later. And at some point, he would hire one of the most longtime cameramen of Ice Poseidon, Victor. Now, this was very straightforward. It was very obvious what he was trying to do, but he would also take it a step further. You see, MIZKIF understood that a big part of why Ice Poseidon had become so big was because he knew exactly how to use the people around him for content. He didn't manage to do all this alone. He would literally go out randomly on the street with no plans.
I hate that word, using people for content. Oh, that's why, like, when I started my, like, streaming journey, I did, like, some, well, research. And people were like, oh, you have to do collabs, And collabs honestly scare me. I'm not a social person. And I'm like, ugh. I wouldn't want to just do collab just for, like, the content. I want to do collab with people I enjoy, like, playing games with or chatting with. That's all. MIZKIF looks wrong. I don't know why. I hate seeing his face. Yeah, he has a very unique face. I will say that.
Meet up a random stranger and make an entire 4-hour stream with them worth watching. But Ice, just like any
there's a very like large eyes, large eyebrows, large mouth, large nose, and a very small round head. Like, he looks very unique. Some people like it, some people might not.
Streamer would hold grudges, would have a blacklist, would have people they don't want to interact
like
with.
Large features in a small
MIZKIF
space.
was willing to throw all of that to the side if it
like
meant
me.
getting more viewers.
Large
there was
tits,
no
little body.
There was no cutoff point. There was nothing
Let's
you could
go.
do to him that would stop
Big
him from
ears,
collaborating with you
small
if
head,
it meant more
small brain.
viewers. Here are some examples. Around April 2019, MIZKIF would go to PAX East with another streamer by the name of SVAN. They would meet up a cosplayer, and that cosplayer would very openly start to talk dirty to MIZKIF. She'd start whispering things in his ear, making him blush, and telling him things like, "Call me daddy." After she would leave and the conversation would end, he would look at the camera and jokingly say, "She
But it all
sucked
looks
me
correct
off,"
on you.
to which
MIZKIF
SVAN would
doesn't
say,
look human.
"Really?" Jokingly. A month later, both MIZKIF and SVAN would get banned for
The
a
human
week.
doesn't look
Why?
human.
Well,
Meanwhile, the
because Jenna,
Bumpfish
the
looks
cosplayer,
correct.
didn't really
I
like
love
the
that
clip.
hero.
She didn't like the fact that she was drunk, and she didn't like the fact that MIZKIF made that joke. So she sent her lawyers after Twitch to copyright strike their VOD.
So you're saying MIZKIF can be compared to IISM? IISM? What's that? What's IISM?
Which made them get banned for an entire week. This had happened a month after Jenna had messaged SVAN telling him, "Yo, I didn't really appreciate the joke," and they settled it privately. The outrage was incredible, right? The entire community was rallying against her. In fact, it got so bad that she was even copyright striking Reddit posts made about her. Another post would get made calling her out, DMCAing other posts, and it would reach the front page of Reddit with 22,000 upvotes. It was looking really bad for her, and it was also very bad for MIZKIF because to him, it's as if his career had ended suddenly for a week. He was having a very hard time mentally to deal with this, and would even cry in the shower about it. He would reveal that later. Now, usually, right, assuming you were in MIZKIF's shoes, you would blacklist Jenna. You would never want anything to do with her ever again,
more
right? Well, 3 years later, he would actually invite her to his stream. They would collab together, and he'd end up uploading YouTube highlights of the stream itself.
My eyes is basically 65%
his most
of my
viewed
head.
video of all time on his channel features her.
We got drunk, so she dominated me.
Also with her involving shock collars, and she would make an appearance another 2 different times.
I is a little weirdo primate.
Videos. This didn't just help her redeem herself in the eyes of the community, it obviously led to way more viewers on both his YouTube and his Twitch. This was someone who was clearly unstable, who was very irresponsible with her lawyers, who got him a week-long ban and made him scared to lose his entire career, and yet there she was, redeeming herself in the eyes of the community while giving him many views. This was who MIZKIF truly was. But it wouldn't end here. He would really go after anything that got him views. At some point, a fairly known streamer by the name of Slicker would be outed as a scammer. He would scam other streamers over $200,000 asking for loans, asking for help, and it would end up actually being used for gambling. One of the people who was affected was a longtime friend of his who was dealing with cancer. He had scammed her for over $50,000. It was a scandal of epic proportions.
Also, it has unnecessarily long middle fingers, which used to extract larvae from bamboo spires. I need to know what this is. I need to know what this is. I. No, I love this. What a cutie. That's so cute. I love this thing. Oh, I love it. I want it. It's so cute. Oh my god. No, this is way too cute to be freaking... Okay. Well, I think some people might be into that. But damn, I had no idea this animal existed, and I'm so happy. No, oh my god, this is me in the morning, guys. This is me in the morning. It's an actual picture of me. It's me before my energy drink. Oh my god. No, I love this thing. I absolutely love this thing.
And no one wanted to talk to Slicker at all. He was pretty much deemed blacklisted. It was over.
Like, he was named Slicker and he scammed people. Sounds accurate.
Of course, for MIZKIF, who would invite him on his stream to hear his side of the story. He would bring him on, he would bring XQC on, he would bring Hassan on, and he would even
sugar
bring
gliders are very cute. I love sugar gliders.
On too, where
but they make me so sad because they are so cute, so people want to have them as pets, and they are not meant to be pets. And it hurts my heart.
Confronted each other, and MIZKIF just sat there ranking in the views. And hell, if that wasn't enough, Alinity, the streamer who famously said let's copy stripe PewDiePie, and who also threw her cat on stream while...
This is the most disgusting thing ever. Didn't she also like give her cat vodka? And oh no, like, oh, you guys don't understand how mad this makes me. This is the most disgusting thing ever. She should not have animals at all. I hope her cats are safe. The most disgusting shit. You do not fuck with your pets like that. Like, who cares if you lose in a game just because your pet happens to want to be with you and get attention? Like, you do not throw the freaking animal. Oh god, no. Okay, I can't.
Some point,
I'm gonna get so mad. I'm gonna say things.
By 2019, one of the most hated people on the entire internet. At some point, in a teary-eyed apology, she'd say that she's sorry, that she didn't mean these things, that she's trying to be better, and that this isolation, the fact.
All I'm seeing is this cat in the corner. Please save this cat from this thing. Thank you.
That she had lost all her friends and is hated by everyone is leading her to have some very dark thoughts. Still though, no one wanted anything to do with her. She was radioactive. No one reached out to her, no one talked to her, no one wanted to help her redeem herself, except one person, of course, MIZKIF. He would at some point invite her on his podcast and hear her side of the story. He would help her redeem herself in the eyes of the community, and it would actually end up working.
Freaking support people who abuses their animals. Like, please.
Recurring guest on his stream.
Completely forgot about her. Yeah, me too. Until this shite.
It really showed that this guy took Ice Poseidon's philosophy to the next level. He didn't just know how to use others for content, he also didn't hold grudges. He prioritized views over emotions, over feelings, and it worked tremendously well, to the point where he'd even beat his own expectations.
So he basically became famous of doing like shock content to make people upset and interested. Is that it?
As he embarked on his newest journey, which would be the
like
formation
drama
of OTK. On June 25th, 2020,
OTK?
Tips Out would announce that he was leaving the esports organization known as Method. This was someone who was fairly influential in the content creation sphere, and many were wondering what his next steps would be. Well, they wouldn't have to wonder that long, because a few months later, OTK, otherwise known as One True King, would be announced.
Oh my god.
Network for content creators.
Of course, these guys named themselves One True King. Stop.
Specifically streamers, and as you can see here, one of the founding members was about to be MIZKIF, alongside other big
people. Does this look like kings you want to follow? Are these your kings? Han använder bara tjejer på sina streams. He just used girls for his streams. Yeah, it seems like it. That's probably why he wanted to pretend he was single or something, so people wouldn't get mad if they were like flirting. Is that it?
Renowned streamers, with Tips Out being part of the leadership.
Because he said that about Emery as well, that he wanted to use her for content, which is just, oh, it's so disgusting.
Make their official announcement on the 11th of October 2020, with the founding members being
Oh, this didn't age well, did it?
Fan, Tips Out, Asmongold, Rich Campbell, and MIZKIF. This was of course a very big deal, okay? This new org featured some very big content creators, one of them being MIZKIF, someone who had been growing exponentially for the last few years and seemed to only want more. And as MIZKIF was embarking on this very new and exciting chapter in his life,
nah, like, oh, I had no idea it stand for that.
One, seemingly out of nowhere. On September 15th, 2021, he would make a tweet saying, "From me and Maya."
Why are they trying to be queen in that campfire image? Really? They tried to be queen? Was that it?
Linking a tweet
I was thinking about something else.
He'd say, "We want you guys to know that Maya and I have..."
I was thinking about Death Eaters. Don't know about kings, but I see a small compassionate queen on the bottom left of my screen. Oh, thank you, Farhan.
Have decided to break up. We both want to be very clear that there was no event, no cheating, no drama that led to this decision. We mutually decided that this is what's best for both of us in our current lives. We both care about each other so much and are still friends.
Well, Maya deserves
better. Each other through this, I think. I
hope she's good. Please.
We're going to take a couple weeks off of streaming to process and to take care of ourselves. Thank you for supporting us through these past 2 years.
I have no idea
we can
what
both
Maya
say that
does
they've
or
been
who
some
she
of
is.
the best years of our lives, and we're super grateful. See you in a few weeks, Miz and Maya. So for you to truly understand just how big this relationship was in the content creation world, some of the biggest streamers on the entire planet would be commenting words of support here, and this tweet would receive a ridiculous amount of engagement. This was a few months after celebrating their 2nd anniversary, and it really did seem like it came out of absolute nowhere. You'd see people commenting things like this. Normally, I don't give a fuck about people's relationships, but this one hit different. Tens of thousands of people were there to witness these two getting closer to each other and eventually, well, making it official, and now it was over. But things were moving fairly quickly because as Maya was moving out, MIZKIF would announce that Emiru, not even a month after the breakup, would be moving in. You see, MIZKIF had a house at this point, he had multiple content creators living there, and Emiru was also about to be a part of this. She was well known at the time, she had her own audience, and the reasoning for this happening was that Emiru lived in Kansas and had a bunch
maybe
of
it's just
stalkers
me,
that threatened her
but
life.
I truly don't
MIZKIF was so
understand
great-
why you would want to live in a house with just a bunch of content creators. Wouldn't you want to live in a house with like people you actually want as roommates? No parasocial socialism here, just a little risk attempt. We don't mind the risk. We don't mind the risk. It's simply for content, yeah.
Extend his
I
hand
could
out
not
for her
live
to
in a
come
space
live
like
with him in
that.
the same house as him and his streamer friends, and she said yes, making her feel the safest she's
But I'm also like antisocial and just want to stay in my space with my cats.
ever felt. A few months later, on January
Easy
3rd,
content farming
2022,
when
she
you're
would
next door to each
join
other.
OTK
Yeah,
as a founding
true.
member as well. This would blow her viewership up to the stratosphere, okay? She'd be averaging 2,000 viewers, and by the time she would
That wouldn't work for VTubers though. I'm sad. If you, well, it depends. If everyone is just walking around with like 3D gear on, then maybe that would be kind of fun.
join OTK, she'd be averaging
But damn, that would be a coffee
16,000.
house.
Shortly after that, sadppy would join the organization too, one of Twitch's OG streamers.
Oh, really?
OTK was now the place to be. Everyone dreamt of joining this org. Everyone who joined it would have their viewership triple, quadruple. I mean, this was insane. For MIZKIF though, OTK would allow him
The
to
way I don't know who these people are. Well, thanks to Emiru, we have learned about this guy. No idea who this is. Esfand, I kind of recognize him. I don't know from where. No idea. No idea. Well, Asman is Asman. No idea. No, it's a dude with white hair behind me. It's not QXC or whatever his name is. And then it's Cutie Cinderella. Well, it's Ludwig's girlfriend, right? That's all I know.
conduct bigger and better
Esfand,
streams in which he would
is
yet
chill.
again
Okay.
put Ice Poseidon's philosophy at work and use others for content. He would collaborate with so many different streamers in one of his series that he made with OTK, which was Schooled. In this show, MIZKIF would ask a bunch of streamers questions that should
Guys,
normally
I've actually wanted to play that game. That's like, what is it? Are you smarter than a 5th grader or something like that? But I'm terrified because I'm not. You guys are gonna be like, because I would play that game and I would fail at everything, and you guys would be concerned and be like, oh my god, this girl has nothing behind those eyes. And I mean, it's true, but oh my damn.
be answered
I'm not
by a
sure
high
if I'm
schooler to see
ready for
whether
that
they were
kind of
smart enough or
embarrassment.
not. Schooled would only be one of those events, of course. They would have sports days, tournaments. I mean, this org was absolutely on fire. It single-handedly made many content creators want to move to Austin, Texas, where all these streamers lived, so that they can be a part
You were
of
in
these
Texas?
events. The name OTK was all of a sudden synonymous with growth.
I thought LA was the place for the big go streamers.
With clout, with money. And MIZKIF,
I
as
feel
a
that hard.
co-founder, was of course at the absolute center. Everyone wanted a piece of him and his community. Everyone wanted a piece of OTK. There was no one who wouldn't collab with him, no one who wouldn't be open to doing something with him. One could say that by this point, MIZKIF had truly made it. He was really at a point where he could call
I definitely
himself
would
the
fail
top
at it.
1% of the top 1%.
No, you're
This was all,
smart.
of course, reflected in
I
his
think you would
viewership.
make
After
it.
founding OTK in
I'm not.
2020, he would find immense success in the coming years. By 2021, he was averaging 40,000 viewers. This would stay consistent up until 2022, when the very method that he had used to attain this fame, this idea of using others for content, would fatally bite him in the ass. At the time, many people didn't know this, but this was truly the beginning of the end. Trainwrecks TV is a streamer that's been streaming for almost a decade now. He rose to prominence on Twitch and eventually became a co-founder of Kick.com.
Who the hell is
Now
this?
look, he's always been a well-renowned streamer who would always collaborate with some of the top streamers in Austin, but his big break would truly be in 2021, when he would stream gambling and slot machines on Twitch. But slot machines have always been a category on Twitch for a very long time. What made Trainwrecks so special, though, is that he was gambling obscene amounts of money. To a typical gambling streamer, $10 per spin on a slot machine was considered a lot of money, right?
Why
They were
do people
wagering a
enjoy
lot.
watching
Trainwrecks was over
gambling
here, max
streams?
betting
I'm very confused.
$1,000
I just get
per
concerned.
spin and making it look like
And
it was
also-
nothing. When a
those gambling streams that are sponsored, don't they get like amount of money from the gambling company just to like use it on their site? So it's basically just pretending, no?
Slot machine would hit, he'd be winning hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars live on stream. This made many other streamers want to gamble and take advantage of this new popularity, as well as rake in the money that these gambling websites were offering. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars for just a few streams per year. These streams were getting out of control, and there was big concern over who was watching them and how many were being influenced to gamble, something that can very easily ruin your life. After like a year of extreme success for Trainwrecks when it came to gambling streams,
can we get Cumbercat on the slots? Oh my god, 18th, that would be so cute.
Prohibit most forms of gambling, specifically the ones that Trainwrecks was operating with. This is what would eventually prompt him to reach out to the founder of the casino in a row, played on and create Kick.com with him.
You
now,
get
do you remember Slicker, the Twitch streamer who scammed $200,000 out of multiple streamers for gambling?
And I have no idea what that is.
This was in 2022.
But I think it's green.
Before Twitch had outlawed gambling on its website. As this was happening, many streamers were kind of pointing the finger at Trainwrecks and other streamers that streamed gambling, indirectly blaming them for
I would never go to a ballot.
Like Slicker. On September 19th,
personally, like if I'm invited, maybe. But it's kind of cool. Like the ballet dancers, damn, their body's going through a lot.
Asmongold would tweet, "How in the fuck is Slicker not banned on Twitch? Guy literally uses the platform to defraud dozens of people, streamers and viewers alike, and admits it. JDon is still sitting a perma while Slicker gets to go live and laugh about actual crime. It's an absolute disgrace at Twitch." Trainwrecks would reply to this tweet, saying, "Because your pals decided it was in their best interest to use and platform the very person that scammed everyone for his horse racing and tennis bets to somehow twist it and wager their war against me. And we both know deep down why the insecure little man is doing this." So to Trainwrecks, this whole thing was just a way for people to wage war on him and his success that he found with gambling streams. When MIZKIF would see that tweet from Trainwrecks, he would attempt to do what he's always done: farm engagement out of a serious situation. He'd reply to Trainwrecks saying, "If we're going to deplatform people for scamming others, shouldn't we have banned you for Joltcoin a few years back?" This is in reference to a coin that Trainwrecks had peddled on his stream years ago. I think it was around 2017, that ended up going absolutely bust.
Do people still do the stupid freaking coin thing?
You most likely lost your money.
I mean, this was way back, right? But still.
But not before Trainwrecks would reply first. And this would be an absolute bombshell that no one was ever expecting. He'd say, "Are you going to send Maya and Mitch to railroad and blackmail me like you did those girls to cover up all those sexual assaults, you fucking scumbag piece of shit? You want to come at me and make shit up? Then you better be sure you don't live in a glass house, you insecure pussy." Now, of course, this was insane.
He got smacked hard in the face. He poked the wrong person, I suppose. Cumbercoin.
This was never heard of.
We do
before.
have Cumbercoin.
Where did this come from?
In the Twitch chat.
Blackmail? Girls? Sexual assault?
That is what you earn.
Plural?
So you can spend it on.
This got serious real quick. People already forgot about Slicker. This was over, right? This had ended in a couple of days. Now it was about MIZKIF and Trainwrecks. What's going on? Barely a day after Trainwrecks had made that bombshell accusation, a streamer by the name of Adriana Lee would go live, saying that back in January.
Me. We need to put Cumbercat on the screen, right? We need to have him. There we go. No, wrong one. There we go. I love him. I love him.
Of 2020, right?
Oh, right. That reminds me. Guys, it's already been 3 months. So I'm going to have to order more like sub badges. The first badges are my tag, right, in different colors and different numbers on it. I was wondering, do we want that to evolve to like Cumbercat's face? So if you are like 6 months subscriber, you get a Cumbercat face next to your name. Perhaps, or maybe something else. I don't know.
Bear in mind, we're in September 2022 at this point. She had gone to a party in MIZKIF's house, got blacked out drunk, and one of MIZKIF's roommates, Crazy Slick, would attempt to do this weird CPR maneuver where it seemed like he was just
Crazy Slick? What's with this name?
Making an excuse to touch her chest. You see,
the golden Cumbercat? Yeah, right? So it's like, maybe it's like golden. Well, first like the OG green color, then golden, and maybe like, what's a special? Holographic Cumbercat when you've been a subby for 1 year. Oh my god. Do you think you guys would want to watch me for an entire year. I don't think I would want to watch me for an entire year.
According to Adriana, she wanted to go live with a TwitLonger in 2021.
Holographic is cool, right?
This is when Maya would be sent to her house to see the TwitLonger and allegedly ask her to not include the word sexual assault in.
So it would be like Cumbercat's cute face. Okay, let's pretend this is the cute Cumbercat face. So it starts with like the OG green blue-ish or whatever it is. And then like, I think that's 6 months. Or is it more? I don't know. And then it's another one that I don't remember. But 1 year subby, a holographic one, maybe. We have to think about this.
There because it didn't happen. Adriana would post that TwitLonger in 2021 and would say that she's been suffering the consequences ever since, being blacklisted out of every party, an event in Austin, and having very vicious rumors being spread about her so that even her friends were forced to separate from her. During her stream in 2022, she'd show us MIZKIF's reaction to her TwitLonger in 2021, and it was him completely downplaying it. Watch.
Of what you can deem of it, it's sexual harassment, whatever. At a low scale, it's not really a big deal.
A low scale?
I don't think people really gave
sexual harassment
really cared. I'm gonna turn this off if you're gonna be
is on a low scale?
This clip obviously added
Are you
a
kidding
lot
me?
of fuel to the fire. It seemed like he didn't care. It seemed like it was indeed kind of
Are
a
you
cover
kidding
up,
me?
and it seemed like Trainwrecks wasn't exaggerating. On the same day, September 20th, 2022, Adriana would make a thread of people Slick has been weird to / harassed / assaulted because people had reached out to her to share their story as well. And in these DMs, we could see Slick being an absolute creep to many women, like this one. This one really stood out compared to others, because it was him essentially just talking to himself, with the woman in question saying, "You're so sad, oh my god, move on bro, take your horniness elsewhere," and him saying, "I'm not horny, I'm just in love with you, please marry me," to which she would say, "How many times do I have to reject you to drill the idea into your fucking head?" And he would just keep on going. What made this worse is that he was doing this consistently to up-and-coming streamers to / harass, essentially just talking to him.
This is what I'm not horny. I'm just in love with you. Your voice, you're so beautiful. Everything about you, your art. Oh my god, please marry me. No, is this looks like troll messages to me. What the? Still creepy as hell, but is this actually serious? You're so amazing. Thank you so much for talking to me. The fact that you use your energy to type to me means the world. I love you so much. We will be married.
Himself, with the woman in question saying, "You're
so I think I puked a little in my mouth. Ew!
So sad. Oh my god, move on bro, take your horniness elsewhere," and him saying, "I'm not horny, I'm just in love with you, please marry me," to which she would say, "How many times do I have to reject you to drill?"
You have to censor the word horny? Really? I mean, horny can just mean you have 2 horns, or 1, or 3, or 5. Like on the head or on the body, right?
Drill the idea into your
like a unicorn is horny, right?
fucking head, and he would just keep on.
That's disgusting, pathetic, and honestly, if he's serious, he's worth less than dirt for the last thing. Yeah, like even if this are troll messages, like he thinks he's funny, it's like it's concerning. But if this is actually how we write to people, like he's full on serious, then this guy is on another planet.
Ongoing. What made this worse is that he was doing this consistently.
Algorithm annoying? What do you mean?
To up-and-coming streamers, to people who were growing, who hadn't quite gotten to the famous level yet, knowing full well that they might be interested in him because he lives with MIZKIF, the guy behind OTK.
Like, I think this, what's her name? Bao, the VTuber, she got a lot of shit because she tweeted something about like, oh, if you get like a bigger streamer guy in your, or streamer person in your DMs being all weird and nice. I think this is what she means. Like, don't fall for this shite just for the clout, you know? This is some scary, true life horror.
Streamer Fan, for example, was one of the people that Slick was being very weird to. And I mean, look at this. The guy was like, if we...
What does SMD mean? SMD pussy. If we ever meet, you're done. On site. If you don't censor then you get shadow banned on things like TikTok. I'm guessing in YouTube is probably reduced your reach a bit. Oh shit. I'm so lazy now that I don't like censor words, so I guess we're shadow banned, guys. You're getting bent over immediately. Zero get to shadow realm. I wouldn't be surprised. I do say a lot of weird stuff. This is the most disgusting shit I ever had to read with my own eyeballs. Like the fact that his name Crazy Slick just tells you everything.
Done, she'd be like, what, on site? And he'd say, you're getting bent over immediately. I mean, it was so awkward, so weird. She was clearly uncomfortable, but in her own words, she didn't want to offend a well-known streamer, right?
This is what I mean. Fuck that. If it doesn't matter how popular they are, if they give you weird vibes and write shit like that, just fucking cut them off. Throw them into the freaking oblivion. Ew, don't spend energy on that. Don't waste your energy on disgusting people. You don't have to have like a proper reason. If you get a bad vibe from someone, yeet them. Protect your peace. It's so worth it.
She tried to keep it civil because according to other streamers, for example, if you would ask for nudes and they wouldn't send them, they'd just get blocked. They'd get blacklisted from parties, from events, and they would probably have rumors spread about them. It wasn't fun. Now Maya, who had long broken up with MIZKIF by now, right? It's been over a year, would be forced to respond to this, saying that she didn't pressure Adriana to cover up the assault. She just wanted to make sure that it wasn't as serious as she was making it out to be, making sure that it wasn't sexual assault, while apologizing for injecting herself, admitting that maybe there was this unseen power dynamic, seeing that she was a bigger content creator than Adriana, which might have pressured Adriana into not being as honest as she wanted.
At least surely you finished the brekkie. I did.
Step away from online platforms indefinitely, and that would last for quite a while.
I should get some water,
but this was only the beginning, right? MIZKIF's world was truly starting to fall apart around him. Asmongold, one of the co-founders of OTK and one of the bigger streamers on the platform, would say that he's furious and that he would vow to cut MIZKIF loose if he failed to act on Slick's accusations, if he failed to kick him out, if he failed to disavow him. Very shortly afterwards, and I mean, everything I'm talking about right now has happened in like less than a week, right? Like literally in the span of a few days, OTK would suspend him, announcing an internal investigation over these accusations. And if that wasn't enough, Ice Poseidon would come in, make a tweet and say, MIZKIF, I brought you into this world and now I'm taking you out. This post got so much engagement.
Was Ice Poseidon still like valid? Did people care about him at this point? I don't remember when this happened. A few years ago, right?
Sitting at over 87,000 likes, and it shows DMs with MIZKIF on Twitter, in which during the RV stream too, you could very clearly see MIZKIF use things like the N-word hard R, the F slur, I mean pretty much anything cancelable imaginable, right? Now why did Ice do this? Was it the fact that his career was dying at this point and wanted more relevancy? Was it jealousy? Was it a mix of both?
Well, obviously, MIZKIF learned from this guy, right? He just wanted to cash in on the drama.
Who knows? But even though some people were very outraged...
I don't even know these people except Asmund. Like, that's fair. Like, Asmund... It feels like everyone at least knows kinda who Asmund is, right? I'm not sure, to be honest. He pops up every once in a while.
Some others were saying things like, you letting this slide for years says a lot about you as well.
That's what I mean. This is so awkward. And when they suddenly, when someone is getting exposed and these old things pop up from people that used to be the friends or something, and they'll be like, oh, you covered this up for so many years. It's like when MIZKIF went like, oh, I'm going demon, I'm gonna expose everyone, and it's like, what, have you like covered up for disgusting people all this time? That doesn't make you better.
But don't worry, because this roller coaster was far from ending. Crazy Slick would then go quote unquote missing after he had sent goodbye messages to friends, and they would in the same day find him. Barely a couple days after Adriana had come out with her story, MIZKIF would make a statement saying, hey guys, to update everyone, we found Crazy Slick.
Oh my god, he literally just baited everyone, thinking he would do something. Oh, these are like, you know, those toxic people you hear about when they're like, oh, if you break up with me, then I will unalive me from a cliff in Minecraft. That type of shit, you know. Ugh.
He has not harmed himself. After hearing from Adriana and the numerous other women who have shared their experiences with him, it's clear that he is not the person he made himself out to be. In terms of his living situation, Slick has been told to vacate our house as soon as possible. He would then apologize for the things he said on his alt stream, right, where he was saying, whatever, he was downplaying. He was like, you know, sexual harassment, but I don't think anyone cares. And then he'd reiterate that he was open about his past. His messages from 2018 happened, he acknowledges them, but he can't change what he said, and he knows that he's changed as a person. He would then apologize to everyone, his viewers, OTK, the staff, the partners, and would announce the fact that OTK was hiring a third party to investigate all this to make sure that he wasn't complicit. Now look, this could have ended here. Most dramas would have ended here. Just wait for the investigation and see what it comes up with and move on. But Adriana had other plans. She would keep going live and talk about this, and her statements would then become conflicting. She'd state things like she didn't know that it was sexual assault until recently, and was told by her friends who were still conscious at the time that Slick only touched her wrist and neck, not her chest. She would collaborate with other streamers such as Hassan Piker. She would of course keep streaming, and at some point she'd call a friend, and the friend would admit that this was never assault. So the story was becoming very convoluted, very contradictory.
What's happening?
Didn't really know what to believe. I mean, listen to this yourself.
It's kind of a whole fucked up situation, and I don't think people are taking it. It's not like it was a full blown like, assault. But when you're touching someone who's incapacitated and their friends are asking you to leave the room, on top of you, already trying to kiss people.
So it wasn't a full-blown assault. He was touching her while she was unconscious, but she was told it was only her wrist and her neck. The whole chest part was only added later. So look, Slick was definitely very guilty. We had proof of messages of him being very creepy towards up-and-coming content creators. That's unacceptable. But there were questions surrounding Adriana's involvement as well as
I'm
Trainwreck's.
so confused.
Trainwreck's would come on multiple streams. He would
That
stream
it's so
himself. He
common
would
that
invite other streamers such as
creepsters
XQC. And he would constantly
just end
reiterate
up
that the only reason he
having
talked about this was
platforms.
because victims reached out to him and were too scared to move forward with this. He would really push the narrative that no, this wasn't just crazy Slick, this was MIZKIF. He knew what was happening, he was covering it up, and he had a hand in this. It seemed like he was never going to be satisfied until MIZKIF's career completely imploded. Adriana would yet again keep going live, saying she hasn't changed her story, she calls out people trying to discredit her, all while talking to Keemstar, right? Not someone you really want to side with you when it comes to drama. The comments on Livestream Fail were getting tired of her, saying everyone agrees Slick is a creep, but she should probably just stop talking. Or Maya apologized and Miz is waiting for the investigation.
why
to show
would you
him clean.
farm
What
your
does this
sexual
chick want?
assault
Slick is
for
gone.
use?
So to many, it appeared like she was just trying to milk this at this point. At some point, Ludwig would make a video on this on his Mogul Mail channel. It would get 3 million views, and seeing that Ludwig has many people who watch him that are not familiar with Twitch drama would make many people aware of this whole cover-up situation, right? He didn't really cover this favorably for MIZKIF. This was yet another blow to MIZKIF's reputation. Not only did people on Twitch now understand that this was going on, but normies who have yet to discover him also were aware, oh, this guy's a weird sex pest. Now yes, a few months later, on January 2nd, 2023, he would get reinstated in OTK once the third-party investigation would conclude that he didn't have a hand in this, right? He was not complicit. He truly was lied to and he had no idea. But to Adriana, this wasn't enough. A few months later, on April 9th, 2023, she would announce that she was not just suing MIZKIF, but she was also suing OTK, the entire organization, for defamation, seeking over $2 million in damages. She would refer to Crazy Slick in the lawsuit as immensely popular. In reality, though, the guy barely had any viewers, right? He was just MIZKIF's friend. That's why he was living with him, and that's the only clout he had.
Oh,
he was
really?
also not a member of OTK and not associated with the org in any way, so it definitely felt weird. That entire controversy changed MIZKIF forever. In his own words, it broke him. It made him never want to trust anyone again. People. It really made him feel like everyone around him was trying to use him. And as you can see from his viewership, after this controversy, he would never be able to recover the fame, the numbers that he once had.
He still have
to that Trainwreck's tweet.
Between 10 and 20,000 viewers. Like, he's doing fine.
Directly was none other than Emiru. As this was all happening in September 2022, she would say, no way MIZKIF knew, specifying, you guys know I've lived with Miz for 10 months and I've hung out with him every day since
I guess she was blinded by love. And I still don't understand how this girl could have been interested in MIZKIF.
Here. The Miz that I know would never know the full story and just let that happen. There's just no way that he knew. I'm sorry, that's just not the person that I know. As she was fighting back tears, about to cry, she'd also say, he has always been there for me whenever something horrible happened to me without even having to ask. This is what would lead us to the next part of the story. People would notice that MIZKIF and Emiru not only just shared a close friendship, there was something there, there was something happening, but they just couldn't really put their finger on it until they received a clue. What would follow would be years of conspiracy theories that would be proven right in the end. This post on the subreddit Streamers was made on November 2022. The title, Emiru and MIZKIF are obviously dating. Why do people pretend they are not? What wouldn't help is that a streamer by the name of Justin Minx would say that Emiru stole MIZKIF from his ex-girlfriend, Maya.
What?
Even going as far as saying a hoe is a hoe. Minx at the time was someone who always hung around other streamers that were very well renowned in Austin.
I'm
her
back
saying
by
this
unpopular
carried a lot of
demand.
weight.
No,
It
don't say
added
that.
even
I'm
more
glad
fuel
you're
to the
back.
Conspiracies.
I
But then
hope you
in
got
May
your
of 2023,
coffee. Was
the
that what
gloves
you were
would
getting?
fully come off. Emiru would accidentally open a file in which she was compiling a bunch of DMs she was receiving from MIZKIF. These DMs were fairly aggressive, and it was him complaining about how she acts on stream, complaining about her behavior and the people she was appealing to. This was like Christmas Day arriving early for 4chan. For months, OTK 4chan was saying that they were dating. They had a lot of suspicions with these streamers' behaviors, how they'd show up on their streams, their eye contact, etc. But this right here was real, tangible proof. Around this time, the YouTuber Bo Blacks would upload this video titled "Sharing These MIZKIF Emiru
She went from a
DM leaks
toxic
will get you
relationship
banned,"
right into an
in which you
abusive
can
one.
see these images
Oh?
that she leaked on her stream in very bad quality, and people of course enhanced them. Here are some examples of what MIZKIF was berating her with. You literally lift your legs like a cheerleader multiple times, stick a bottle between your legs and play with it, farm those parasocial people by doing this content in the first place after claiming to me you don't want these weirdos and you hate this community and hate the just chatting community. To many, this just sounded like an over-controlling boyfriend, not a friend who just invited you to live with him because you were worried about stalkers. This is when the conspiracy theorists would truly get to work, going back through old streams
what
and seeing
did I just
images
read?
that she leaked on her stream.
What the is wrong with this? Farm. I love that this person's talking about farming content. And how is it her fault that she has a lot of weirdos after her?
In very bad quality, and people of course enhanced them. Here are some examples of what MIZKIF was berating her with.
Ew.
You literally lift your legs like a cheerleader multiple times, stick a bottle between your legs and play with it, farm those parasocial people by doing this content in the first place after claiming to me you don't want these weirdos and you hate this community and hate the just chatting community. To many, this just sounded like an over-controlling boyfriend, not a friend who just invited you to live with him because you were worried about stalkers. This is when the conspiracy theorists would truly get to work, going back through old streams and seeing Emiru clearly have a change in behavior after interacting with MIZKIF. For example, during the stream in which MIZKIF was berating her for having
He thought this was like, oh.
a glass bottle in between her legs, she'd look at his messages
Red
on
flag,
her phone, leave for
big
45 minutes, come back,
red
she would just
flag.
cry.
She's
At
doing
some point,
nothing
Emiru, in
wrong.
another streamer's chat that was a friend
Holy
of hers would say, I got a black eye a week or two ago and it's finally almost gone. Now, these conspiracy theorists were already doubting that this was because of MIZKIF being abusive towards her. But
Yeah,
they had no idea
he's
how the
not
black
right
eye
in the
actually
head, that's
looked.
for sure.
But thanks to Emiru leaking it on accident, since she had it open as a window and was alt tabbing so people could see it for like a split second, they were able to see it. Her excuse was that she ran into a wall, but the conspiracy theorists had a very hard time believing that. They were blaming MIZKIF. What didn't help was that when it came to the people talking about this on Twitter, MIZKIF would make an effort to block them, further making himself look bad. And I mean, look, this might seem obvious now that we know that, oh, MIZKIF did this to Emiru, she made her stream talking about him, he's a weird guy. But back then, it was hard to actually convince the majority of people that this was reality. There were quite a few people that still managed to dislike this video. This was seen as nothing more than conspiracy slop, something that belongs on 4chan and just simply isn't reality. Because guess what? In the meantime, MIZKIF and Emiru were farming content together, both growing and using each other for views. They'd react to things together, they'd collab together, and of course, all while hiding the fact that they were in a relationship. People would make clips of them, would farm views, would post them on Reddit, on YouTube. I mean, anytime there was any interaction of them flirting or being friendly to each other, people were starting to ship them. This was no surprise, as they had done so with both Maya and MIZKIF in the past. This clip of both of them playing Mario, right? Has over 300
this is a clip I've seen
views.
so many times.
I wish I was joking, dude. 300 million. Even after a huge cataclysmic scandal,
How people
MIZKIF was
didn't
able to
already
keep
know he
good
was a
chunk of
psycho
his
is insane
career.
to me,
He
yeah.
had done what he had always done before, but this time while keeping his relationship a secret. Except,
I guess
just
the
like with
content
Maya, this
is
wouldn't
just
last too long. And he
more
would
important.
yet again
Because,
find
like,
himself
people
alone
can't
with
have
nothing
missed
more than
it,
his
right?
community and his channel to comfort him. On May 31st, 2024, Emiru would state on her stream that she needs to get out of MIZKIF's house. She'd say, there's a lot of different reasons, but I just feel like I need to get out of this house. You know, I like living here, but there's a lot of stuff that I haven't told you guys over the years. She specified that it had nothing to do with drama, and most people assumed like, oh, this was her stalker that she's been dealing with for years. In fact, she had multiple stalkers. Maybe that had to do with that. On July 24th, 2024, she would finally move out, but what people noticed was that she moved out all by herself. MIZKIF wasn't following her, he was staying in the old house. MIZKIF would make excuses for this, saying that this was because he was moving to a different state. He wanted to move to Los Angeles and leave Texas entirely. To the conspiracy theorists, though, it seemed like, no, they were actually breaking up. This was over. And he further confirmed this by running the hell away as far as possible. In the beginning of 2025, he would quote-unquote escape Austin, Texas, and would go live in Japan, spending a very long time there, streaming, making content,
in Japan?
And overall, it seemed
What?
like he was running away from his past life. Of course, this trip wouldn't be without controversy. He would do pull-ups on a cherry blossom tree, which would get him in trouble with Japan since they're seen as sacred, but he would end up apologizing and we'd move on from that. MIZKIF was just being MIZKIF, right? Regardless, he'd get past it fairly quickly. I mean, it was nothing compared to the stuff he's been in the past. And afterwards, he would finalize his move to LA, saying that it's been the best time he's had in a long time, he's been loving the people he's met, and that he's very happy about his decision. This came just as it was announced that he actually won the court case versus Adriana. Her defamation case was thrown out by the judge, deeming it not worth a lawsuit, like this was just invalid. That's probably because she decided to sue him for defamation. I don't know whose idea it was. A lawsuit about defamation in Texas is like...
I love the comfy cozy vibes of Sierra at this level, but listening to this whole thing describing a worldwide forest fire started from a dumpster and those people in such a high position is just, yeah, it's disgusting. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
unwinnable and it had nothing to do with her being sexually harassed. But whatever, to him, he was innocent, and this was proof. And you know, not much would change. Even while living in Los Angeles, he would still farm clips like he always has. Like this one right here, in which he jumps into a pool and pretends like he drowned, right? Like, hilarious. At the end of May 2025, he'd make an official video saying goodbye to Austin, Texas. The fact that he's moved to Los Angeles, the fact that this was going to be a new chapter in his life. And this would actually be his attempt at completely rebranding himself, reinventing what MIZKIF even means. His content would shift from being this video game centric stream to more finance focused. For example, in
that reminds me, what do you think of Johnny Somali? Who's
June 2024,
Johnny
he would
Somali?
bid for a broken
Should I know?
Lamborghini so that he can fix it. Watch.
The biggest knobhead of streamers to walk the planet. Oh, really? I thought that was Ice Poseidon. What?
He ended up bidding $125,000 for a broken Lamborghini, and his goal was to repair it and make content out of it, seeing that others have done so and gotten millions of views. He would then go on a rebranding tour, right? Going on podcasts.
Johnny Somali surprises Ice Poseidon, but like an Everest
how he
level.
Almost ended it all. How he was made to be a villain, how he was the victim, and how now he won the lawsuit, and he's right here, ready to start over again.
Like what the hell? How many horrendous people?
The Iced Coffee Hour, hosted by two content creators who were very finance content focused.
Like what?
Here he'd explain many different things. How he was canceled, how it broke his mind forever, how he will never be the same person he used to be in the past, how he's a multimillionaire, how he's shifting towards more finance-focused content because his audience has been growing up with him, and how nothing really interested him as much as entertaining people, right? It wasn't about the money for him, it was truly about just being the most entertaining possible, reaching the most amount of people. As this rebranding tour was happening, Ludwig would admit live on stream that the video he made about MIZKIF's drama with Adriana Lee wasn't really that good.
Yikes.
In fact, it was false and it caused severe damage, something
Honestly, I don't know what I think about Ludwig. I'm very torn. But damn, this man must really suck at reading people. Like, holy crap. He's just making like, yeah, I don't know.
that he regrets. He would specify that he had apologized to MIZKIF and tried to include him in his events, but MIZKIF was still hurt and didn't like him, not wanting to really reciprocate. To MIZKIF, this was perfect. I mean, he was on his rebranding tour, he won the lawsuit, he moved to Los Angeles, he had introduced himself to new communities.
Yeah, this is kind of funny. I heard like he was like about to go on like, oh, I'm back, I'm proven innocent, and then this hits. Fucking karma, bitch.
Seeing Ludwig apologize now
Karma
was
is
the
a
perfect timing.
bitch.
On October
And
24th,
bichazo, and
2025,
bichoso.
MIZKIF would make a response video saying, look, Ludwig as well as Trainwrecks tried to ruin my life. They did inconceivable damage to my reputation, and even though I won the lawsuit, everywhere you go on other platforms, you can still see people calling me a sexual harasser, someone who protected like a weird sex pest, and he blames Ludwig's video for most of this damage because he actually reached a big normie audience. He would end this by saying that, hey, if you watched me and stopped watching me because of that incident in 2022, I ask that you give me a second chance. However, even though his rebranding was going perfectly well to the majority of people, to the conspiracy theorists who knew that he was dating Emiru and that knew that her moving out without him meant that they broke up, they found it oddly suspicious how in the beginning
Emiru's
of
timing
2025,
proves the
as he
saying
was
to
in
be true,
Japan,
there's no
both
fear like a
Emiru
woman's
and Maya
groin.
interacted
Yeah, the
for the first
timing.
time on stream and actually collabed.
Just the timing.
You know, it doesn't take a conspiracy theorist
so
to understand this.
perfect.
If two of your exes met up together, it's probably not because they
Low-key
still like you.
legendary.
At the same time, people started noticing other things about MIZKIF that were very interesting. On the subreddit OTV and Friends Rumors, someone would post, "What is up with Pokey and MIZKIF?" on October 11th, 2025. They were wondering, why has MIZKIF moved to Los Angeles where Pokimane lives and they haven't collabed or interacted once? Other comments would point out, how come he hasn't collabed with many other streamers that he usually collabed with that also live in LA? It seemed like he was being isolated. What didn't help is that
That's
on the
why I don't
17th
F
of
around and
October
find out with women.
2025,
Oh,
Emiru would talk
does
about
that mean you're
something
into
that seemed
guys?
to be her referencing MIZKIF. Watch.
And sometimes there's things in your life or people in your life that, you know, maybe they're not good for you. And chat, sometimes maybe you have to make those choices to take those people out of your life so you can
No, I
make
mean
room
create
for
drama
people
with women.
that are right
Oh.
for your life. You know? And I also think it's important to never give up. This whole year I've taken a couple breaks, but
So there she was, breaking down on an RV trip with friends, talking about cutting out people from her life, talking about how the last year in particular was very hard on her. This RV trip was actually on the way to TwitchCon, and
This is
Emiru
so
truly
sad.
couldn't catch a break because
No,
at TwitchCon
like, what
she got
the
assaulted
freak?
by a random stalker. It was
I don't
overall
wanna see
an
this.
absolute
Hopefully it
disaster.
doesn't play the
But let's
video.
take a step back for a minute. You know that clip where she's crying in the RV? This was actually downvoted to oblivion. It has 0 upvotes. And the comments were very divided. Some people would say, glad we are back to the usual parasocial streamer drama posts, and someone would reply with, you know things are going well for MIZKIF when there's a random post that gets posted to stir hate for him. This is maybe the 4th this week. So see, this kind of person was seeing this as a direct attack on MIZKIF for no reason because of weird conspiracy theorists. Someone else on the other hand said, damn, just say MIZKIF already. But for the most part, this was really seen as some sort of weird conspiracy theorist pushing a narrative that was so out of proportion to what's actually happening that they should probably be admitted to a mental institution. However, as you may already know, people like this, as well as the many people on 4chan and other gossip forums that have been talking about Emiru and MIZKIF for years now, were so damn vindicated on October 25th, 2025, when Emiru would out of nowhere
thank you
make
for
a
the hype.
stream that would put the final nail in the coffin when it came to MIZKIF's entire
Oh, I actually have to go and get
on
something to
October
drink.
25th, Emiru would go live on her channel with a stream titled Talking About Some Things. In it, for the first time, publicly, she would reveal to us that yes, she was indeed in a relationship
Let's
with
see what's in the
MIZKIF.
fridge.
She'd then read a carefully
Coke
prepared
Zero.
statement
That's
from
all.
a notepad in which she would detail to us just how horrendous the years with MIZKIF truly were, detailing the things he's done to her, the things he's done to others, and how much of a terrible person he truly was. As she was streaming, she would also remove him as a mod in her channel. And I kid you not, I mean, look, I live streamed as soon as it was happening because it was such a big deal. That night, I opened live stream fail and I saw the entire front page just full of clips from her stream. It's not even an exaggeration. You can see it for yourself. Here's how she would start off her statement. Watch.
today I'm finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that MIZKIF has done towards me, and some of these issues
Gotcha.
which are still ongoing.
Are you
For the
a
entirety
Genshin
of this
player
year,
or a
I've
Star Rail
attempted to
or
separate
Zenless? I don't
myself
know.
from him
Maybe all of
and
them.
not talk about him at all, and not talk about this issue, and just not make it a public thing. I have never.
I mean, I really like Star Rails and Zenless Zone Zero's character designs, but when I played them, I don't know.
Always tried my.
I'm not having
So yeah,
that
that
much
was already
fun.
one hell of a way to start off her statement, right? But this entire 2-hour stream would be bombshell after bombshell after bomb.
I've heard that MiHoYo is working on like a MMO though, MMORPG. That's gonna be interesting.
the ridiculous amount of texts she would keep receiving from MIZKIF even after separating from him, asking, can you please answer my phone, writing these immensely long paragraphs about how he regrets everything, about how he wants to spend the rest of his life with her.
This was actually insane.
This would be on multiple platforms, on text messages, on Discord, on Instagram. The guy
the
was
MMO will be
relentless.
sick. Yeah,
She
I
had
hope
more than
so.
14 screenshots
They surely
of him trying to pursue
do
her
have
on multiple platforms after
the money
she
to
she didn't want anything to do with him anymore. And one
to
of those
afford to make a
messages would
good
even be
game.
like a straight up poem. Additionally, the
hope.
guy was absolutely crazy when it came to view count and numbers, something that everyone had already known about, but didn't truly understand just how screwed it truly was. Watch.
Me. He's saying like, Emmy, you know, I'm gonna kill myself. I waited, or I'm gonna KMS. I waited so long for this, etc. Basically he was upset because I had higher viewership than him. That's literally it. I had higher viewership than him, and like I said.
Imagine being a successful streamer, dating another successful streamer, right? And going up to her and saying, hey, you know, I want to end it all because unfortunately you have more views than me. It's like, come
it's so
on,
weird.
man. Like,
it's
what are you
so
doing?
weird.
Get a grip. But the other thing she had to say wouldn't be funny at all. In fact, they were very serious. You know, she'd expressed to us that their breakup wasn't as straightforward, right? They kind of lingered a little bit since she was taking a little while to move out of the house. At some point, she was crying about something. He sat next to her to comfort her. He hugged her. And she claims that as he was hugging her, as she was still crying, he would put his hand in her pants. Really good timing, MIZKIF, truly. I mean, yeah, that's the first instinct you should have as a guy when a woman's crying. She would push him away from her and he'd get up. He'd say, oh, I feel like I've done something really wrong and I'm gonna leave now. And he just left. She'd also claimed that he was a very dangerous driver, very unstable. But
all the games are boring
he
to start, but
drove
what's in the middle and makes
150
it worth
miles
it
per
now.
hour, telling her that they were both gonna die because another streamer had a collab with Mr. Beast and he didn't. I mean, seriously. He is such a loser, bro. But again, it got even more serious when she would reveal the real reason behind her black eye. She'd say that he would throw plastic bottles at her that still had water in them, so they were heavy, as well as his phone at her, which eventually would cause her black eye that lasted for 1 to 2 weeks. I mean, think about it, right? For a phone to hit your face and give you a black eye, it must have been one hell of a throw. That by itself, without mentioning anything else during her stream, is enough cause for immediate concern. That's textbook abuse right there.
Yep.
Additionally, she would reveal to us just how little he thought of other people in Austin, how he treated them terribly, how he belittled them, how if they couldn't contribute more view count to his stream, they were human garbage to him. Even if they were nice to him, he didn't care. She would recount a story in which someone was very nice to him, was very sweet, and he would shit-talk him behind his back, which really alarmed Emiru. There was so much aggression towards someone who was nothing but nice, and there was no explanation as to why he would be angry at him other than the fact that he couldn't contribute anything to his view count. Finally, she'd end her stream by saying that she is filing a restraining order on MIZKIF in both Los Angeles
like literally something
and
very
Texas,
wrong with this
adding
person.
that one of the main reasons why she decided to make this stream was because at TwitchCon 2025, yes, the same convention in which she was assaulted by a stalker, MIZKIF went up to her staff and told them that if she were to say anything about him, he would destroy her. How would he destroy her, you ask? Well, she explained very clearly what he would say. Watch.
Multiple people have told me that his plan was to claim that I kill animals.
Yep.
And that I killed my own rabbits.
And he did exactly that. He did exactly that.
3 years while I lived with him. I'm sure he's probably listening now, and it's probably going to come as quite a shock to him that this information made its way back to me and that I've known for months.
And finally, truly, the last thing she would say here is that she says she predicts that after the statement that she had made, MIZKIF would try and sue her. Watch for yourself.
And I also wanted to say that I would not be surprised if he tries to sue me for the stream that I did today and for coming out about him.
Mm-hmm.
Not because he thinks that he would win, but
and that's exactly what he did.
Like a slap lawsuit. It'd be interesting if that happened, and I wouldn't be opposed to people finding out more of the truth and things that I didn't even talk about today.
Oh shit.
And what else he's been lying about. And I'm sure there's also plenty of things that even I don't know about. And yeah, there's more things that I didn't even talk about today, but I'm hoping that now that I have this out, this is the last time I ever have to talk about it.
I think Asma Gold is paying for her eternity.
One hell of a statement. Truly something that shook the entire streaming community to its core.
Yeah, it seems like he's fully on Emeru's side, and I commend him for that.
She was also out here telling us his next steps. She knew everything. And just like any online drama, when it rains, it pours. And it didn't really take that long for it to start pouring like a goddamn tsunami. Very shortly afterwards, OTK would put out a statement saying OTK fully supports its co-owner and sister Emiru and will stand by her side and admire her strength in coming forward and sharing her story. While MIZKIF was one of the several founders of OTK, the organization terminated its relationship with him some time ago for reasons unrelated to the recent events, and he holds no stake in OTK or any of our other companies. Out of respect for those who have come forward, we will let their voices speak above ours. And speaking of voices, they all started to pour in. A streamer would say, for years, on my Twitch stream, I had stated I had one bad experience with one Twitch streamer within my 9 years of streaming, and they're finally being exposed for being a terrible human. Another streamer would say, having been in this industry for years now, I've been exposed to many creeps. Sometimes when they are larger creators, I've been scared to say anything because I fear will negatively impact my career.
Sad.
Last weekend at a TwitchCon after party, MIZKIF came up to me to say hi, but just grabbed the top half of my face. My friend was in disbelief and told me I should say something as that was super disrespectful, but I've always been scared of offending people and I chalked it up to him being weird. Thank you, Emiru, for bravely speaking out, and I can't even imagine the horror she has gone through this year.
All about the view count and the numbers, and it's measured in power. It's kind of disgusting. It's so disgusting.
Yeah, you know, he just walked by and
literally making me ill just watching this.
Someone's face. I think this is what happens when you reach such a crazy fame level that you
or
start
maybe I'm
seeing
feeling
people
ill
as
because my
genuine
breakfast was energy drinks
that
and
don't
nuts.
really matter, like they don't exist. Now look, at this point, I'm not really
I think it's a
surprised when
mixture.
it comes to streamers and content creators being outed as weirdos. Unfortunately, you've come to expect these things, but still, as someone who actually does cover these things, well, for a living at this point, I still managed to get shocked at one thing in particular though. Rekful was one of the OG Twitch streamers, right?
He'll make some toast.
The pioneer, the
Maybe
inventor,
later.
pretty much, of
I don't think I have
text-to-speech
bread at home.
donations, for
I
example.
have nothing at home.
Tragically, in the summer of 2020, he jumped out of a balcony and, well, left this planet.
Well,
For many
Coke Zero and
streamers
energy
and content
drinks,
creators,
nuts.
this is a very sensitive topic, as he was a very nice guy who clearly had mental problems. As the controversy with MIZKIF was happening, someone would uncover a clip of Rekful from a long time ago in which he would call out MIZKIF for being a bad friend that only cares about clout. Watch.
How does it feel knowing that there are some people who like you because you are famous? It fucking sucks. See, I know for a fact that me going live right now raises the chance that MIZKIF doesn't ignore my texts and hang out with me by
What
like
the fuck?
fucking 69,420%, you know? It's fucking actually nuts.
Yeah, no
Now, this
food is.
sucked, but it wasn't what truly shocked.
I think I
me.
have
It was this tweet from the
noodles
content creator
somewhere,
Aryasaki,
ramen.
who was a close friend of Byron, otherwise known as Rekful. She started this off from a quote from MIZKIF in 2025, in which he said, "One of the reasons Byron killed himself was because he was jealous of me." She would then state that the reason why she had even reached out to MIZKIF in 2025 was because she wanted to take him out to lunch for a serious talk. She was coordinating with Emmy and she wanted to play the middleman. She knew of his terrible treatment towards others and wanted to see if he truly felt remorse after all the controversies he's been through, if he's actually changed. But with that statement, she confirmed, no, actually, he was even worse than he used to be. Arya would
Holy.
specify that she knew Byron very well and that she spoke with him every single day leading up to when he left this planet. And not once did he mention MIZKIF's name, not even once. I mean, dude, this genuinely left me speechless. We're out here talking about the final nail in the coffin. Bro, there is no coffin anymore. It's been rendered to ashes. Like, what the hell is going on? But we weren't done yet. A producer who had worked for an OTK event that featured MIZKIF would come out and talk about her experience with him. She'd say that others were more
Everyone
fit
is
to host,
coming out.
but MIZKIF insisted that he wanted to host himself. Okay, cool. Usually for an event on stage that's live, she has to present to you everything that's going to happen, where you can step, where you can't step, what to expect, what not to expect. But MIZKIF kept telling her he was too busy, so she actually offered to come to him and explain. She did that and actually drove to his house. Now usually there would be rehearsals, there would be practice. He wouldn't show up to any of that. He'd only show up barely an hour before the event was meant to start, so she ran him through everything very quickly even though they were meant to rehearse, and it was obvious he didn't really do that much of a good job. What she noticed though was that after the stream, he was feeling down. Everyone was around him comforting him, and no one paid mind
because
to
he
the
didn't
producer
prepare.
who tried to avoid this from happening. The guy wanted to always be at the center of the spotlight, but was unprofessional and disregarded everyone around him. That lines up with what Emiru said, and I mean, there's another clip literally of him on stream admitting this, but people saw it as a joke and didn't take it seriously. Watch for yourself.
I'm gonna come to my family reunion.
Only if I could take a picture and say fun with the family.
No, I know, I don't. I actually don't want you to go. It's because you're like a psychopath. Miz, when you're normal, even at parties, you stand around like this with a drink, and then you walk up to people and you're like, you know, I wouldn't talk to you if your viewership wasn't as high, you know? Like, that's literally what you do
Ew.
all the time.
It's not even funny.
Because I don't take any of you seriously because you're not actually my friends.
Oh my.
No, I'm sorry. You know you're my friend.
Sure.
And is Senna a real one? No. Okay, let's begin on this whole thing.
This clip is perfect to truly show you who MIZKIF truly was, okay? He was in his natural habitat here. Whenever someone would bring up something serious, hell, even morbid, I mean, the fact that he saw everyone as objects, that no one was his friend, he would always manage to deflect and make it a farmable clip. I mean, if you posted this on social media or Reddit, it would get upvoted like crazy. Anytime someone would have criticism or become serious, he would always turn it around, and people would say, oh, you know, that's just MIZKIF being MIZKIF, right?
This makes me
that's not
sad.
actually how he behaves off stream, I'm sure.
Yeah,
He's just doing this for the
self-confess.
content. Everything was
And
for
he's
the
pretending
content.
he's like
People would also
joking.
find old clips of him admitting the fact that yes, he had a fear of his ex Maya surpassing him in viewership. Watch for yourself.
I was terrified. I couldn't understand what was happening.
It
My
is
viewers
so
were dropping,
insane.
Maya's were only going up. And there was a part of me that thought that I was going to be smaller than her, and I don't know if it was my ego or what, but I couldn't take it.
Yeah, it's your
I
ego.
felt like shit.
You're absolutely insane.
And I was on the phone with Austin, and then XQC, I somehow got on a call with him, and he talked to me for hours.
The fact that people had to call him and calm him down because he was scared that his girlfriend was getting more popular. What's wrong with this man?
Did.
Sorry.
And I genuinely, after
The
talking
man
to him,
in
felt
this
a lot better.
situation, at least.
And I don't think he even realizes what he did for me in that call, but he really did help me a lot. I was nonstop. It's all I could think about is that she was beating me as a streamer and I was going to die. But then he reminded me that women have a cap and just grow as streamers, and that's pretty much just fucking it.
Oh, he reminded MIZKIF of that women has a cap. They can't really become super successful. It's only for men, so now he's happy.
So it felt a lot better after that. I really did. So
Oh, ew!
Right, so as ridiculous as this statement was, the chat was full of hearts, okay? Everyone was there to support him. Everyone was like, oh, like he was insecure and now he's over it. How did he get over it? Women have a cap. Men to the moon, baby.
Yeah. What the
I mean, he
hell?
wouldn't just talk about this behind Maya's back. He would say it to her face during a stream. Look at this.
I succeed.
No, okay. I used no. I used to get upset. I'm not kidding you, chat. I used to legitimately get fucking pissed because I'm like, are you fucking serious? I brought this bitch into the world, and now all of a sudden she's fucking growing faster.
This
than
is
I was.
actually
'Cause I was going
what he
like
thinks.
this, and she was going like this,
And that's
I'm like, what the hell
scary.
is this crap? What is going on here? It's the fucking Babsity effect. So I was pissed. I'm like,
The fact
you were such a pussy.
the fact that you can say that and feel like it's okay that you feel
Yeah.
that way and just be like, yeah, I was like that. Like,
Insane.
Is crazy.
Insane.
That's bad.
Is it bad?
Like, what the fuck are you doing there, girl?
Guess what? I
Just
don't
walk
care anymore.
out.
That's bad.
But
Please.
I don't care anymore, and I stopped caring.
He's okay as long as I never have more viewers than him. If I ever surpassed him in viewership, which will never happen.
Oh, she'd be done.
he would
I'd
be
pull the plug.
He could not take it.
He'd pull the plug, guys. Did that mean he would end the relationship, or would that mean that he would cut the internet router, which he had
Like
done
what?
before, by the way? At some point, she had surpassed him in viewership, and her stream went offline. Yes, he was that petty. Also, I want to point out how he said that he had brought her into this world. MIZKIF truly felt this
What,
way.
did you
right?
give
He
birth
actually
to
felt that
her?
he brought
Really?
her into this world, so he was owed that he stayed bigger than her. And yet, no one saw the red flags here either. It was just MIZKIF being MIZKIF. It was just for the content, guys. It was just for the clips. Anyway, other streamers would mince no words. Like Asmongold, he'd just straight up say, fuck off, have some dignity, and retire. He was over this. He'd also say that he's known about this for 6 months. Emiru, Sina, and Valkyrie, right? Some of the biggest female content creators would reach out to him, ask him for advice. And he wouldn't say anything because he didn't want this to come out without Emiru's consent. He'd end this by saying that he regrets ever platforming MIZKIF and giving him any sort of viewers. Another Austin streamer by the name of Kyuko would also come out with her side of the story regarding MIZKIF, saying that during their first hookup, she was so drunk she couldn't even keep her eyes open. She was initially supposed to crash on the couch, but somehow ended up in MIZKIF's bed. He would then have his way with her, and she was too dizzy to care, and then she'd say that he coached her to say that it was consensual afterwards, to the point where he was so sweet to her that they ended up even having a consensual fling. When that fling ended, she would notice that terrible rumors would start to spread about her. People would hear that she was manipulative, bad, awful. MIZKIF would go as far as telling others that she... God, how do I say this without being demonetized? He'd say that she would produce lines of ketchup from her arms with a sharp object while having sex. Yes, I really hope that's clear enough. Then when she got in a relationship with Lucari, he would still constantly shit-talk her and spread rumors about her. So that's how it worked in Austin, right? Everyone was trying to make it as a content creator there, and at the top of the food chain, you had the OTK boys. Rumors could make or break all your collaborations, all your invites to parties, and no one would bother messaging you to verify. Austin in general was a hellhole, okay? It was like Game of Thrones.
What?
As this was all happening, a clip would resurface
The
that
hell?
was posted recently. I mean, this was in 2025, of the two streamers, Yugi and Arki, teasing MIZKIF about Emiru being happy without him, right? Implying that they were in a relationship, even though this wasn't public.
Oh, I've seen this. These two guys, they knew.
Definitely
They
interesting,
freaking
to say
knew.
the least. Watch for yourself.
Dude, you know one of my favorite collabs was Emiru, bro.
Oh my god, Emery was so cool.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Dude, everyone was like so cool.
Emeru, bro, I didn't think Emeru was gonna tap in with us. That's the thing, because we were with Cinna and Bonnie, but it's just the thing that Emeru, when she popped
So
up, I was
cool.
like, dude, Emeru was like,
I'm not gonna lie, bro, everyone's been so cool so far, except for like,
I feel like there has to be like a cancer. Like,
Look
there
at
has to
his
be, like, a
face,
reason.
dude.
Like,
He
you know
wants
what
to
I'm
punch
saying?
them
Someone's
so
gotta be like,
bad.
But definitely, like, Emeru was definitely probably one of the best.
You think that phases me at all?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean? That like none of this. Like I don't think you understand, bro. You can't hurt me. There's nothing you can do.
He's boiling on the inside. He's boiling.
That's great. That's fine. Enjoy yourselves, brothers.
Whoa, bro, you
okay?
Are you good?
Are you good? Yeah, I'm good. I just gotta go to the bathroom. Like, give me a
Okay.
minute. No, I'm fine.
Then go to the
I
bathroom.
know it's okay.
Dude, wait, what's wrong?
Are we in therapy or something, bro?
Yeah,
This
what
is
did I
fine.
say?
You said nothing. You said you did a collab. That's cool.
Ew.
It's fine. I have no problem with that. I told you there's no issue.
You used to live with Emeru, and then all of a sudden you wanted to use Emeru to become bigger, and you couldn't. So then you.
Look at his face, dude.
Yeah, he's freaking
about to
dying.
murder
He's
them in broad
dying.
daylight.
and everyone's been like having way more fun and doing way more cooler things.
What even are you spinning?
Dude, Emery used to always be in her room. Now she's like going IRL and having fun and doing a lot of cooler stuff
It's
now.
good thing she disconnected from me because
Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord.
You would have brought down the
These
vibe.
guys knew.
Yeah.
They knew.
Facts.
Wait, Emery was actually having so much more fun. Like she's IRL, she was grilling, doing all.
He was triggered beyond belief, dude. It was insane. Looking back at this now, it's even crazier. Now look, at this point, the entire world was on fire, right? That's how it felt like. People, including myself, were wondering, okay, when is MIZKIF going to respond? Is he going to need a day, a couple days, hell, a week? Is he going to disappear? What's going on here? To many people's surprise, a few hours after
Instantly.
Emiru's stream, he would go live himself. The stream would last around 40 minutes, and it would be an absolute
He used a few hours
disaster,
to write
okay?
the
It was very
absolute
obvious
worst
that he
script
very
ever.
quickly kind of came up with a statement,
Which is
didn't really rehearse,
kinda
didn't really
insane.
ask anyone's opinion, and just went with it. He would confirm the majority of the things that Emir was saying. The fact that he controlled her, told her to dress older, stop wearing pajamas, prevented her from traveling without him or going out with certain people, pretty much confirming that he was a very controlling and crazy boyfriend. He'd say things like, oh, you know, the reason why she got a black eye was because I threw my phone
Toxic
at the bed and
as
it
hell.
bounced back. It wasn't me throwing the phone at
All the
her.
red flags,
But hey, she was also
waving.
abusive too because she threw plushies at him. I'm not even joking. He said that with a straight face. He said that the first year was wonderful with her. They kept everything secret. He had a doggy door on his door, and that's how Emiru was able to go into his room while keeping it a secret from his other roommates.
This is
And
so weird.
Just as Emiru had predicted, right? Like word for word. He would show a video of how Emiru's rabbit cages looked, right? Implying that she was abusing them and that they died because of her lack of care. He'd say that she had too many, she couldn't take care of all of them, and she was directly responsible for them dying. Look, I can tell you right now, having watched all this stream live, this was maybe the only notable thing he had against Emiru, okay? I mean, the whole thing was a disaster. He still had alerts on. Someone was donating 7777 as he was saying very serious things. He'd make a couple jokes here and there, just like MIZKIF always
Yeah,
would,
it's
trying to
very
deflect,
weird.
but this time it wouldn't work. And yeah, before I forget, when it came to that story where he sexually assaulted her, he wouldn't say that they were hugging as she was crying. He said that they were cuddling, and he thought that this was where it was headed. It was an honest mistake. Yes, him slipping his hand in her pants was an honest mistake.
Oh.
Anyway, seeing that the whole rabbit thing
Of
was
course.
the only dirt he truly had on Emiru, one of her friends
A
of over
mistake.
10 years would come out with his own statement saying that no, she doesn't abuse her animals. In fact, what happened was that this cage in particular was left behind because she was moving out to a new house alone
Yeah,
and took her bunnies
well, I
with
guess-
her already.
isn't
He, of
that
course,
so
talked
obvious,
about how
though?
dirty rabbits are, about how often they poop, about how they poop up to 200 to 300 pellets per day and that it doesn't
Yeah,
smell.
rabbits
He'd
are
argue
disgusting.
that the rabbits that did indeed die
I would
had
never
bad
want a
genetics. It
rabbit,
was simply
that's not
unlucky.
gonna lie.
He'd show us a picture of the new cage in her house. and
I'm
would indicate
stinky,
that
guys. I'm
everything's
stinky.
normal there. She wouldn't let it get that dirty while her rabbits are in it. Finally, he'd mention how MIZKIF would refer to them as rabbits, but he doesn't even know any of their names, not a single one, saying that to him this was nothing more than opportunity and he actually didn't really know anything about them. And just as you thought that things couldn't get worse, here is truly a display of how dangerous parasocial viewers can be. There are people who are saving clips for years, waiting for the day that MIZKIF gets canceled
Real
so that
Housewives
they can resurface
of
them
Twitch.
for everyone to see. At some point, Maya was on a podcast, and MIZKIF comes in and
What
pulls
the
off
hell
her
is
headphones
this?
in a very weird way. This was years ago, okay? And someone posted it shortly after Emiru had come out with her statement to showcase that MIZKIF has always been weird to his partners. Watch.
I think Miz is coming up here, but I think his chat ratted on him.
Oh, spam when you say something, Maya. They
Chat cheated.
spam for like.
Loser!
Oh, there he is. He's
Loser!
Hey, that's third place. That's third place.
Loser.
Third place.
Loser.
Second loser.
Loser.
Matt, if you broke that headset, you are DMing Shroud right now. Pick it up.
We double dropped it.
Pick up my headset.
Go get the sim jar.
Throw the sim jar.
He's in trouble.
What an attention whore you are. Oh, he doesn't have the thing on.
Oh.
Oh, damn.
So the poster would argue that this is important context. Emiru describes MIZKIF downplaying all the objects he threw at her as simple jokes. Anything he did that was weird was defended as a shtick, as content, as clip farming. So yeah, this was definitely weird, and he did this shortly after losing a tournament in Mario Kart, I believe, on stream. Another old clip, I don't know from where, would get dug out from the dredges of the swamp, right? It would be a 1 and 21-second clip in which you could hear MIZKIF berating Maya, saying, "Get the fuck out of the house." Now look, unfortunately, most of this clip would get interrupted by donations, very cringy, stupid, loud donations. But yeah, you could see him screaming at her. I mean, look, this is like a short snippet of what happens. Watch. He'd be screaming at her saying, "You're a dumbass, you are dumb, Maya," etc., etc. So not really a very pleasant conversation. So overall, these past clips are indicating to us that, oh, he's always been this way to his partners. He's always kind of treated them badly. It is important to mention that Maya hasn't said anything since this happened with Emiru, right? And I don't think she will. She's too busy managing her wildlife sanctuary to care. But at this point, you don't really need to go back to his previous relationship with Maya to really see how bad of a person he was with Emiru, you know? And just as Emiru had predicted, barely a week after her stream, MIZKIF would file a defamation lawsuit against her and Asmongold. Now you ask any lawyer, like Legal Mindset, for example, about how this lawsuit's going to work, what are the odds of him winning, and it is hilariously bad. Look, just to explain to you, when you sue someone for defamation in Texas, right? This isn't Japan. You can't sue someone for defamation because they made you lose money as they were saying the truth. Like, for example, you harass a coworker, it's true, they talk about it publicly, they make you lose your job, you can still sue them and get money out of them because they cause you to lose money.
The more we watch this video, the more and more people are going to realize what Nobby is.
You have to prove that the people you're suing
I thought you were locked in. No,
lied, right?
I was
they
babbling
said those things
to myself.
And knowingly lied about you. You have to prove that they knew that they were lying, and you have to prove that this caused you severe monetary damage. How the hell do you prove that someone was knowingly lying about you? And by the way, lying. They have to be lying. It's not like Japan where they can be telling the truth and you can still sue them. It's clear that Emiru has a team of lawyers. She was reading a very well-prepared statement. Nothing she said, as far as she knows, is a lie. So again, just as she said on her stream, he will attempt to sue her even though he has no chance
everything
of
she
said. He will lose this lawsuit, and I don't even know why he's bothering.
Kinda insane.
Adriana Lee lost against MIZKIF and OTK for a reason, right? As you remember, she sued for defamation. Right now, if you go to MIZKIF's Twitter profile, you'll see in his bio, still owner of OTK, now in lawsuit. As if that'll change anything. But hey, it seems that Emiru is doing fine at least. On November 7th, she would appear on someone else's stream and would say that she was considering replying to MIZKIF's poem that he sent her, but then found out it was written by AI. She laughed about it. And as I'm recording this part of the video on the 12th of November 2025, she went live for the first time since she talked about MIZKIF. She has, of course, more viewers than him. Let's hope he doesn't drive 150 miles per hour in his car. But if he does, let's hope it's on an empty road with no innocent bystanders.
MIZKIF is a fast boy, that's why he drives so damn fast.
Interesting. The fact that he doesn't care anymore. The fact that he was going to go, quote unquote, demon mode against everyone now. He was going to expose everyone. Text messages, proof over the next couple of days. I, as well as many others, were looking forward to it. What does he have to expose after being completely destroyed in public? Well, nothing. It's been 16 days and he hasn't posted anything. Demon mode my ass. The only thing MIZKIF has posted was on November 7th. It would be on his Instagram and it would be an absolute disaster. I don't even know what this is, dude. Just watch for yourself.
you.
Motherfucker.
I don't know, man. Can someone in the comments explain to me what this means? Because to me, it just seems like he's acting like a victim.
Is
like,
this
dude,
supposed to be
we're
funny?
not saying fuck you for no reason. There's a reason people are giving you the middle finger. It's insane what ego does to someone. On his YouTube, on the other hand, he just keeps posting shorts of his previous content as if nothing had happened. Look, this is him getting a hair transplant. Isn't that wonderful? As if nothing had happened, right? God, I mean, what can I even say about this? I was there to witness this guy rising above all else in the streaming world at a speed never before seen. But I was also there when he tried to play himself out to be the victim when Adriana Lee went after him, as well as Trainwrecks. I was there when he was attempting to rebrand himself. I mean, I literally watched his Iced Coffee Hour podcast. And I was there when I watched
oh god, it was so
get
bad. I saw some
absolutely
clips from that.
destroyed in real time in one night.
He really
MIZKIF,
thought
just
he
like
was
many
gonna
other
redeem
content
himself.
creators before him, is the same warning that we've heard 1,000 times over. Once you reach those high numbers, once you start making a lot of money, once you start feeling invincible, it is so important to stay grounded with the people that you keep around.
But that's
It is so
the thing.
important
I
to
get
not let
that
ego
the fame, the money, the viewers enables you. But if you are a decent person to begin with, like a good person, then this doesn't happen. This is like, it must be there already. At least that's, in my opinion, how it is. I don't understand.
take hold of you. Was MIZKIF always some sort of psychopath? Or did that only happen once he started gaining more popularity? Who knows? What I do know, though, is that he did all of this to himself. He has no one else to blame.
Yeah,
And
literally.
that's a fact. At this point, there's nothing he can do. Even an apology won't do anymore. He's screwed up too many times in the eyes of the internet. Does that mean he has no fans whatsoever? Does that mean his career is truly over, one and done? Of course not. It's never that simple. I always say this, but if Dr. Disrespect can still have a successful career after messaging a minor,
reals.
then anyone can. But we both know that that's not enough for MIZKIF.
It's so depressing.
He wants higher viewers. He wants to be the center of attention. And while he could probably keep having thousands of concurrent viewers, people who cannot let go of their parasocialism when it comes to MIZKIF.
Yes, he was. The writing is everywhere. Exactly. Like, holy.
40,000 that he had
like,
back
this
in
doesn't
2021,
just.
and
Oh.
that's truly what could make him stop streaming
It's disgusting.
and retire for good. Is he actually going to go demon
It's
mode?
so
Is he actually
freaking
going to expose
disgusting.
other streamers? I doubt it. Is he going to win his lawsuit? Hell no. Is he going to keep streaming? Time will only tell. Either way, he's paused all comments on his videos and disabled likes when it comes to YouTube. And that Instagram reel maybe showed us that he truly still thinks he's the victim and that he's done nothing wrong. Either way, I wish Emiru and the victims the best. I hope they can move on from this. And when it comes to MIZKIF, I just hope that justice is served as it's meant to be. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Let's hope this year can end on a good note. 2025 has been ridiculous.
Gross.
And I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is. I
Thank
love
you, Mujin.
Mwah.
It was this, but oh, I don't know if I was muted here.
To
But
showcase
this, what the hell is this? The Real Housewives of Twitch? And they mostly just laughing when
MIZKIF
he
has
does
always been
this
weird to his
is kind of insane to me. Like, hello? Not funny. Very concerning. The Real Housewife of Twitch. Ew. MIZKIF is a scum. Yeah, I think he's a bit more than a scum. Plenty of words that can describe him. Because holy shite. What was that? What? Whoa, oh, jeez. What was that? Toss prevents me from saying anything stronger. That's fair. That's fair.